on a scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Terrence Oliver in the run game of the Warriors. Really much the same thing on the other side of the field for the Wilks Colonels as well. And last week, starting to integrate Cooper King, the quarterback, he rushed the ball 109 yards last week. That more than doubled his season total. So now it's really a dual threat in the running game for the Colonels. This game is going to be decided up front by the offensive and defensive lines. And the key for this for the Warriors is going to be you need to win the battles up front on both sides of the ball. I think we're going to see whichever team establishes their run game early, that's going to be your favorite to come away with the victory at the end of this game.
And Lyco did a nice job last week, bouncing back from the performance against Susquehanna. I think we all kind of went into that game against the Riverhawks thinking, all right, just try to keep it somewhat close, kind of keep it respectful, if you will. But obviously, we all know what happened there, but to bounce back and to go to Connecticut and take that long trip after a rough performance against Susquehanna, they held WestCon to 107 yards on the ground, did give up 314 yards through the air. That is a very good WestCon passing offense, but they were able to win the battle up front in the ground game, and I think that helps lay the foundation for this week.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, Susquehanna, we knew going in, as much as we love the Warriors, that wasn't realistically going to be a win. I mean, Susquehanna is consistently one of the best teams in the country to face. You're going to have to just eat it that game, move on. But to see a bounce back against another tough team in WestCon, that's exactly what these Warriors needed. And the hope is we can carry it here into this week with the Wilks coming off a bye week and having that extra week of preparation going into the matchup against Lycoming.
Now, their last time on the field, a win against Moravian, one of Lyco's wins as well against the Greyhounds. But Wilkes coming in, and again, landmark conference matchup here between these two. So that's where it really kind of comes important. Lyco has a winning record in landmark play, trying to extend that. But we're going to step aside for the national anthem here on Flow Sports.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, the musical stylings of Olivia DeFria.
And getting ready for the opening kickoff. Lycoming College trying to pick up that third win of the year, trying to go to 3-1 in the Landmark Conference. Wilkes University, a perfect 2-0 inside Landmark play, 4-2 overall. But again, beautiful day for football, a little bit on the cooler side this morning. Starting to feel,
finally feels like football season.
Yes.
In the last home game of the year.
But and we knew fall would arrive, and almost sounds like just in time for fall to arrive, winter's right behind it, looking at the extended forecast for this upcoming week. But again, good football weather here on the final home game of the regular season for the Warriors. But it'll be the Lyco receiving the opening kickoff from the Wilkes University Colonels. Kickoff going right to left. But again, trying to set the tone early here on special teams are the Lycoming College Warriors. And we've been seeing the tandem of the Jordans, Brady Jordan, Elijah Jordan. Those two will be back deep to return the kick. And we are underway here in Williamsport. Short kick going to bounce at the 23, fielded, and a short return up to about the 27. Little rugby scrum pushes the pile close to the 30, and the Warriors will take over 1st and 10. Elijah Jordan on the kick return.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see what Lyco's going to come out here in the first offensive series. As we talked about, the run game being effective against WestCon. We know the run game is the bread and butter here, but Wilkes knows that as well. So do you come out and maybe try a couple quick hitters here early, get Lions into the groove to try to open up the running games for the running lanes for Terrence Oliver?
Lions 21 of 27 for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here the win over WestCon. He's in a pistol look to open things up. Little play action. Lions looking left. Goes down the middle of the field. He wants Klein. He's got him wide open at the 30. Klein is off to the races. High step. 10-5. Touchdown. Warriors. The senior on senior day. Carson Klein on play number 1. Finds Pater from 70 yards out.
And what a job there by Klein. One step off the line. He's just off to the races as you hear the cannon go early here at David Pearson Field. What a play by the Warriors. I mean, as I just said, do you go to the pass early? Sure. I don't think anybody on the Lyco side was expecting play action deep down the field, but what a job by Klein to kick off his senior day with 6 points.
20th catch of the campaign for Carson Klein. Just his second touchdown and a new season long of 70 yards. As Vasco Granito on for the extra point, he'll split the 6. And with 14:43 to play in the opening session, Lyco already out to a 7-0 lead over the Wilkes University Colonels here on Flow Sports. Yeah, welcome back. David Pearson Field at Coach Girardi Stadium. Lyco, one play, and they found Paydirt as Joe Lyons finds Carson Klein. The senior had a clear field, and he finds Paydirt. Got behind that Wilkes defense as Granito lays into the ensuing kickoff. That's going to push the return man inside the 5 to about the 2. Return to the far side, a little bit of a lane. Up across the 25 and out of bounds goes the return man. For Wilkes, that was Daniel Pinega on the return for Wilkes. But you talked about as we went to a break that high energy start for Lyco, and one play, 65 yards and a touchdown. And you don't get much more high energy than that.
No, and I mean we've seen one play touchdowns out of this Lyco offense, but not from the passing game. That's exactly what you need. Now we flip it to the Lyco defense. Don't get surprised the same way that Wilkes just did, because Wilkes, much the same way, is a run-first, run-often team.
Lyco 3 down linemen, as they've shown all season. Wilkes going to start with the ground game. They try the near side, and a good run on play number 1. Picks up to about 40, the 34, a pickup of about 9.
44 with the tackle.
Yeah, nice strong run there. Braden Baum in on tackle for the Warriors on that one. The Warriors front 3 made contact in the backfield, something that has been an issue this year we'll have to keep an eye on, trying to go high on the tackles instead of tying up the legs, and that allowed the back to get through.
Ben Cantella, senior running back out of Wayne, New Jersey on that last carry. And nobody really on the Wilkes Colonels roster really lighting up the stat sheet. Again, a 4-2 football team. As the Cantella pass batted nearly intercepted off the deflection. Didn't see who got a hand on it.
I believe that was Trollinger that got his mitts on it.
And then you see Stokes, it nearly landed in his lap. Stokes coming off of a landmark Defensive Player of the Week performance against WestCon. Almost had a huge play. But it'll be 3rd down and 1. That was the first pass attempt from Cooper King. He was 11 of 21 for 126 against Moravian. Threw a a touchdown, was intercepted once in that game against the Greyhounds. But a 3rd down and 1. Lyco looking to bring pressure from the left side. King takes the handoff, goes to Quintella, and he's stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a couple, and it'll be 4th down as the Warrior defense roaring through that left side and making the stop.
It was freshman Kristen Mitchell-Brown. Not that anybody's a freshman at this point in the season anymore, but just coming through untouched. Lyco doing a great job sending the pressure from the weak side there. Wilks already planning to run to the weak side. Nothing you could do with the penetration Lyco got on that blitz.
So after a pickup of 9 on 1st down, the Warriors going to go 3 and make that the Colonel's going to go 3 and out. Have to punt it away. A little bit of pressure, but the punt is away. A spiraling punt. Good hang time. Got to be fielded about the 27-yard line. A very short return by Aiden Bartlett. And for Lyco, they're going to bring out the offense for the 2nd time, but they enjoy a 7-0 lead against Wilkes University with 13 minutes to go in the 1st.
Yeah, if you look from the Wilkes side now, you really have to be guessing. All your scouting said run, run, run. It's going to be runs. We got to contain Oliver. Well, Lyco just showed their passing threat as well with the first play. Obviously, everything open now, but now still look on this drive, a little more reliance on Oliver instead of the passing game, because Wilkes is going to have to keep the safeties deep back, and you're seeing it here as they're about 13, 14 yards off the line of scrimmage to start.
Trips to the left, a hand off to Oliver, his first carry, and it was read well. Blocks just didn't develop, and it's going to be a loss of 2 for Terrence Oliver on his first carry of the afternoon.
Yeah, it was the linebacker, Talon Murray, the senior for the Wilkes Colonels, making first contact there. But really, and this is something we brought up on previous home games for Lyco, that delayed handoff between Lyons and Oliver again allowed that pressure to get into the backfield. By the time Oliver had the ball, there was nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, very reminiscent of the last time out for Lyco. Brennan Clark, the senior, in motion. And a hand it off. Oliver finds a little bit of room to the near side, back to the original line of scrimmage, plus a yard. As it'll be 3rd down and about 9 for the Warriors.
Gets the Warriors back on the right side of the chains, but that's 2 plays in a row now. Wilkes' pressure just breaking through on that near side of the line.
Spencer Ferguson got to come in for this 3rd down play. Terrence Oliver, who was in the passing game last week against Westcon with 4 catches, he's going to be on the sideline. 2 wide receivers, including Dawson DeBeebe to the right, bottom of the formation. There's Lyons, his 2nd pass attempt, near side. He's got a man right at the 35. It's going to be short of a 1st down as Jared Zimmerman hauls it in, the junior wide receiver. It'll be 4th and about 2 for the Warriors.
There was a nice ball there by Lyons that time, but really Wilkes sitting back in the zone with only 1 deep. You knew some of those underneath routes are going to come open, but not before you get to the change. I would like to see something a little deeper down the field on that one.
So Michael Sips got to come out and punt away for the Lycoming College Warriors. Sips, a senior out of Kalanaski Valley. Snap back, not much pressure, and a spiraling punt angled to the near side. And it's muffed at the 30-yard line, and the tackle shortly afterwards, as it was Romel Terry, the junior wide receiver out of Bethlehem Catholic. Tried to catch it about head high, lost it. Unfortunate for him, it didn't go very far away. But for the Colonels, they'll start their 2nd drive at their own 30.
And Brendan Clark doing a great job in coverage there for Lycoming as well, recognizing, yes, the ball got away, but I'm not going to get the ball in time. I'm not going to try to make something happen here. Just make the tackle and make sure we can pin Wilkes as deep as we can for the 2nd offensive possession.
So Cooper King going to bring the Colonels out for the 2nd time. He's got 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Now joining him in the backfield. Sidecar left. Daniel Paniga in motion and trying to set up the screen just over the extended hand and incomplete. There's a nice read there by Khalil Johnson, the sophomore linebacker for Lyco. Saw the screen, got his hand up in there. Not sure if that maybe had a play in that incompletion, but definitely did his best to disrupt.
Yeah, really nice job back deeper in the secondary. Louis Shank from his strong safety position. They read screen before the snap even. You saw him shift over to that far side as well. And you saw Ryan Pence moving back to midfield position as the only deep safety, ready to clean anything up if it did get by.
So 2nd down and 10, just under 11 minutes to go in the 1st. Lyco with a 7-0 lead. Ball at the 30-yard line, man in motion, left to right. Handoff, play action, and rolling the right side is King. Completes, and a heavy hit from the far side flat. Making the catch was Braden Schaefer, and then he got demolished after completing that catch.
Yeah, it was Khalil Johnson coming across, and he read that all the way. And a really good job by the secondary, the linebackers, staying at home, not biting on the play action as the near side blitz did. The running back for the Wilks got drilled pretty hard in the backfield. Problem is he didn't have the ball.
Johnson, 5 tackles last week against Westcott. Picks up his first of the afternoon. 3rd down and 4, ball to 36. King takes the shotgun snap, fires far side flat. It's completed. Got his running back, Tella, gets across the 40, out of bounds around the 42, and enough for a Colonel's first down.
Mitchell Brown did a nice job reading that, just a half second too late. Had an opportunity at the interception there. But Lyco, again, not afraid to send the pressure right now, knowing they're getting penetration, speeding up the Wilkes offense as we get a early flag here.
Wilkes trying to speed things up a little too much as everybody but the center fired off. So we'll move the Colonels back 5 yards, back to the 37-yard line.
Now, obviously great if you like Lycoming, but this is something we've seen with the Warriors too. They get something positive from a penalty and then give it right back. Lyco's got to still be disciplined up front here and not jump off sides themselves, knowing that Wilkes is trying to go up tempo.
Michael Sips, and nose tackle position. Right over center. Trying to lead this defensive front for the Warriors. King dumps it off near side and read nicely again. Khalil Johnson gives up the reception, but an immediate tackle, and it's going to go for a loss of 1. So for the Colonels, they get their first down of the afternoon, then a 5-yard penalty and a 1-yard loss to follow it up.
And you just saw there on the replay, Johnson had a shot at the interception, possibly recognized it's going to be a tough one to get with the receiver boxing him out. Wisely let the catch happen, knowing I can tackle him here. I'm going to get the loss anyway. That's fine. You can have your reception.
2nd down and 16. 9:20 to play. At Trollinger. Giving some signals to his defensive backs on the right side. All alone is Cooper King out of the shotgun. 3-man pressure. Here it comes. Pass near side. Too tall. Coming in from the left defensive end, Trinity Hill. Caleb got the pressure on Cooper King. He had to let it go before he wanted to. And again, we're seeing some good pressure from this 3-man front.
Yeah, I mean, that's no real surprise from this Lyco defense, but they are really disrupting. You can see him as soon as he gets the ball. He's getting antsy. You've seen him fidget with the ball. You've seen him start to get those happy feet again. That's exactly what you want to see. You know, if we're getting home with 3, if he sees us send 5 or 6, he's going to panic and throw this ball God knows where at that point.
3rd down and 16. Sips may have come across early. Pass deep down the sideline and incomplete. Pass was intended for Juju Fears. Good coverage downfield, but there is a flag back around the 37-yard line. And I just mentioned about Sips, the nose tackle right over the center. Sometimes you got to wonder, it's right there in front of you. When you're a coach, you're like, it's right there in front of you. When it moves, you move.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely on set. There's no real question there. Good news for the Warriors. I mean, I just mentioned don't get back 3 yards after they give it to you. But even with the penalty, it's 3rd down again. But Wilkes still behind the chains on this drive.
3rd down and 11 after the 5-yard mark off. But for Cooper King, definitely a passing situation. Going to be alone in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers each side of the set. Ball at the 41-yard line. Lyco going to spread out their 3 defensive linemen. King trying to go to a hard count. Trying to get the Warriors to jump again. Now going to take the snap. Pressure coming in his face. Short pass near side completed. Tackle right about midfield. Well short of the line to gain. A little bit of a positive spot inside Lyco territory to the 49-yard line as that catch made by Shane Reed, a sophomore wide receiver out of St. Joseph.
It'll be 4th down.
I mean, very nice job there by the Lyco secondary. Knowing where the line to gain was, you saw him drop back into that deep deep dime look. Everyone stayed spread out. And again, give up what you can give up. That's fine. We don't care about that. We're not letting you get that 1st down, but it looks like the Colonel's going for it here on 4th and short.
Ball on the 49, just inside Lyco territory. Got just across the Lyco 48 for a first. King sets up the screen. He's got his man. He's got a block across the 40, 35, 30, and he fumbled. Loose football inside the 10. It's scooped up by Daniel Atsu on the Lycoming College Warriors. Boy, it was a first down and a big gainer for Braden Schaefer, the senior out of Coatesville. But on the run, coughed it up, and the Navy and White was there to pick it up.
And, Lyco kind of got napping a little bit on that. They sent the pressure what you expected, just waiting for a run up the middle on 4th and short. The screen pass works to perfection for Wilkes. If you're a Colonels fan, you got to hold on to that football. You know you got the first down, 4th down. You know Lyco's coming for you. I don't know why you're holding that ball out ready for it to be stripped like that. But worked out great for the Warriors. Now the defense pinned deep in their own territory. But, hey, it's better than Wilkes points on the board.
It almost looked like he wasn't really hit. It was just going through traffic and got it punched away as Oliver takes the handoff on first down, gets across the 15 to the 16, picks up 4 yards.
Oliver, we talk about how elusive he is, but on that one, when you have 6 white shirts around him to the point from up at our vantage point, you can't see Oliver anymore. There's no real move for him to get outside. But great job just keeping the legs going, get what he can on that one.
7:45 and counting here in the first. Lyco leading Wilkes 7-0. Third drive for the Warriors. Shotgun set. Lions far side. He's got Klein again. First down and a little more. As Carson Klein coming off of a big game against Westcott. Already his second catch. And it's a first down for the Warriors.
One thing that always impresses me with Lions, you saw it there in his play, the speed he's able to go through his progressions and work back down the progression chart again. As that looked like it was supposed to be a quick hit or right out snap, wasn't there, looked the other way, then looked back and saw the opening.
Carson Klein, 5 catches, 99 yards a week ago. He's already got 2 catches here this afternoon, closing over 70 yards as Lions far side again has his man Klein. Got to pick up another first down before getting nudged out of bounds. So 3 catches for Carson Klein. He's closing in on the century mark here in the first quarter.
I mean, that long pass to start it will help that. I'm really surprised, though, Wilkes not making any adjustments. I would almost expect to see them starting the press at the line. Not really doing it yet, especially at least on Klein. He's able to make one move, and he's getting into the back of the secondary.
Shotgun set, sidecar left, Terrence Oliver. Got to hand it off Oliver. Go to the strong side, cuts upfield, spins off of one hit, and got belted as he spun. Gets brought down around the 38 to pick up a 3 yards for Terrence Oliver.
And you can see Wilkes, and that's part of the reason Lyco's having the success right now, but they're keyed every play on the run. It's going to be a lot of hard work right now for Oliver to break one. But as we see every time they play here at David Person Field, Oliver's going to find a way to break one at some point if you just keep turning around and handing it to him.
Pistol look. Deep back is Oliver. Lions going to go up towards the line. Wants to shout out his protection plan. 6 minutes to go. Another handoff. Goes to Oliver. Near side. Has a lane. The 45. Terrence Oliver, the 50. Makes a man miss at the 40. It's a sideline foot race. Terrence Oliver inside the 15. 10, 5. Touchdown. Warriors. Terrence Oliver, a little daylight, and he did the rest. Fire the cannon as Terrence Oliver finds the pay dirt for the 10th time in 2025.
Ian, what did I just say before that play? Keep turning around and hand it off. He's going to break one eventually. There you go. Congratulations on the 6, Mr. Oliver.
Terrence Oliver, a big gallop of 62 yards. As Vasco Granito on for the extra point. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Terrence Oliver, 70 yards on 5 carries and a touchdown. And there's 5:50 to play in the first. And now whistles and a timeout, I believe, coming from the Wilkes sideline. But for Terrence Oliver, came into play 10 yards away from passing Tim Deasy's mark of 1,026 yards for the 9th most rushing yards in a single season. And the next in line is Josh Kleinfelter, who has 1,123 yards. But Terrence Oliver closing in on the 8th most rushing yards in a single season. And big runs like that, something that we're used to seeing, as a explanation didn't quite come over the PA system.
I'm not sure what this is. They called it an official's timeout. I'm genuinely confused now what this could be about. As the officials all came together, now the officials are going. Yeah,
that never really seen They're going to, looks like an iPad and outside the back of the end zone. So not 100% sure. Haven't seen this.
Never seen it. Do we have video replay abilities at the Division III level? Is that?
So again, this is kind of uncharted territory for you and I think for everybody here right now. And Lycos, kind of looking at some of the body language from some of the players are kind of acting as if it is a potential replay, but we'll see if we can get an explanation for what's going on here. But the tent right next to the scoreboard to our right. And again, those officials in there going through some sort of viewing of this, whether it's the last play or not. Well, looking at the Wilkes sideline, as they may have an explanation.
So I don't know exactly what they're looking at right now, but they do have the ability now in Division III level look at replay. So the officials on the tablet down under the tent behind the end zone are looking at both an angle mounted on top of the press box that shows the whole field and an angle from behind the end zone that Lyco is currently going into. So we don't know what they're reviewing, but we do know this is an official's review right now.
Well, and looking at the reaction just a moment ago before you threw the headset back on, Wilkes' sideline was celebrating, and Lyco brought their special teams unit off the field. So for all intents and purposes, looks like this touchdown run is coming back. But not sure exactly where or why. But it does look like we have the officials' review on that last play, the Terrence Oliver touchdown run of 62 yards.
So what I'm thinking is, did Oliver step out when he was coming down the sideline? And for where they're currently spotting the ball at the 40, or I can do math, they're going the other way. At the 33-yard line, that's right about where the Lyco defense was standing on the sideline. So from up here, we would not have had an angle that would have been able to see it.
So the touchdown got to be taken off the board, as I believe they're going to say. Again,
he said something.
Couldn't come across, but it looks like it'll be first down and 10, ball at the Wilkes 33. 29-yard run by Terrence Oliver, so now 37 yards on 5 carries. But after a official's timeout and that review, get back to play here. Joe Lyons got to roll to his left, looks left. Again, it's Carson Klein wide open. Picks up about a dozen. Carson Klein having a day as the Wilkes defense just giving him all sorts of space.
Yeah, if I'm Joe Lyons, I'm not looking anywhere. I know he has weapons across the field. I'm just looking at Klein. I mean, they're looking on that last play where Oliver's run got called back. I was watching on that side with Klein. The closest corner to him was 17 yards away. On that one, the closest corner was 14 yards away, and his first step was backwards away from Klein.
So I believe that's 4 catches now for Klein, and he's over about 84 yards here on the afternoon. So they hand it off, and immediately taking a hit was Terrence Oliver. And again, it's just these exchanges on the option reads just taking way too long.
Yeah, and this is something Lyco's been dealing with all year. And really, the option hasn't been confusing really anybody because it's not an RPO like people are getting accustomed to seeing now at all 3 levels of football. It's a straight option. It's going to be a run play. So Wilks is just rushing into the backfield and going, we'll tackle you both because we know one of you is getting it and you're both just standing there holding the football.
So updated Carson Klein, 4 catches, 95 yards, including that 65-yard touchdown on the first play of the game for the Warriors. Klein going to go in motion left to right. Lyons looking. He's going towards the end zone. DeBeebe's defender fell. The pass went a little too far and incomplete in the back of the end zone. But, again, looking deep and having some space as the secondary for the Colonels having trouble with their footing.
Yeah, and again, I know that one was intended for DeBeebe. Klein was coming open again on the backside as well as the corner released him, and the safety just kind of got trapped in no man's land between DeBeebe and Carson and couldn't decide which way he needed to go because he knows Carson Klein's been the target. I probably need to go that way, but DeBeebe is coming wide open over the middle.
3rd down and 11. That was the first incompletion for Lions, who has trouble with the snap. It actually looked like Zimmerman. Jared Zimmerman was the one who drops on that football. And that's going to be a loss back to about the 29-yard line. And it'll be 4th down for the Warriors. It should be about 4th and about 16 coming up. For those of you wondering, Daniel Vasco Granito, his long this season is 40 yards, so a little outside of that range.
Say it would have been about a 45-yard attempt, but the offense stays on here.
Clark in motion right to left on this 4th down play. Lions looking to throw. Has time. Sends a dart to DeBeebe, and it's broken up. No flags on the field. Good coverage. Defender and football got to the spot at the same time. DeBeebe couldn't hold on. Would have been enough for a first down. But instead, a turnover on downs by Lycoming. So they went from having a 2-score lead on a big run by Terrence Oliver to a review erasing that to a turnover on downs.
Yeah, and I mean, credit Wilks on that. That was textbook pass defense there. Like you said, it was a dead-on defender and ball meeting at the same time. Obviously, Lyco's fan base not having, but a great job by Lions trying to go through his reads, recognizing when the pressure got there, standing in, willing to take the hit, fired a good pass, just well defended by Wilks.
So the Colonels trying to get something going. They were able to get into Lyco territory on their last drive, and were going deep into Lyco territory before they fumbled it away. Cantella, handoff, near shy, gets into the second level. Khalil Johnson there to make the stop from this linebacker spot. But a good pickup by Ben Cantella.
Yeah, Khalil Johnson really making the case of why he might be the next one to step up and lead this defense into the future here today. He's just been all over the field, involved in every play in some shape or form. Johnson
had a really good year last year before an injury cost him a good chunk of the season. Did have to deal with a little bit of an injury this year, but the sophomore is, I agree with you, he's setting the foundation to be the next face of this Lycoming Warrior defense. There's King in the shotgun, sidecar right, hands it off again to Cantella, and this time he gets stacked at the line of scrimmage. Leading the charge was Braden Baum, the sophomore from Parkside. Gets the stop. It'll be 3rd down and about 5, maybe 4 for the Colonels.
And Michael Sipp's a big reason Baum was able to come through as quick as he was. Sipped on his own, picked up 3 offensive blockers and tied him up, which let Baum come up behind, sidestep, and fill the gap.
One thing I have always said, if you're a lineman, whether it's offense or defense, your job is to create holes for the backs. And on defense, you can create a hole for a linebacker to shoot through. You get stops like that. 3rd down and 5, ball to 34, the Colonels. Lyco showing pressure, a handoff, and pressure in the backfield, and another stop. Jeremiah Boyer, the first-year defensive lineman out of DeMatha Catholic, gets into the backfield, makes the stop back at the 34-yard line. It's 4th down, and the Colonel's going to punt it away.
I will say, Wilkes did a great job on that one, recognizing the blitz and picking up the pressure coming off the far side. The problem is they forgot about the defensive linemen coming as well and just let them come straight through.
You know, I know there's been times this season, Lyco's been running a 3-man defensive front for I think as long as I've been doing their football games for the last 5 years. Some people worry about the natural running lanes, but they've done a really nice job here limiting those. As the punt is away, a little bit of a corkscrew punt. Got to be fielded on a fair catch by Aiden Bartlett. And he'll be down, they say, at the 33-yard line where the Warriors will bring the offense back out onto the field.
Now, the offense didn't have much time there on the sideline, credit to the Lycoming defense, but it also didn't give them a lot of time to talk about, okay, we know the play got called back, that's fine. Why could we not get that momentum back? They only had a few minutes over here on the sideline, but I think it's still, let's just keep rolling. Forget about the touchdown getting called back. Let's drive another one in here.
Yeah, the way I was thinking about it as well as, hey, we know that we can do it now. Now, have these big plays against this defense. Let's find a way to recreate it. Handoff goes to Oliver. Oliver, good back to the line of scrimmage, was unable to split the 2 defenders that got good penetration from that Colonel's defensive front. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Frederick Mew and Roger Stevens, both sophomores for the Colonels, doing a great job up front filling those holes. They're not really getting penetration, but they're stopping the Lyco offensive line from generating those holes. And Oliver, as shifty as he is, he needs a place to put his foot down to make that cut. Wilkes is giving him no room to be able to make that initial cut.
1:15 left, little play action. Lions pressured his face, near side, sideline. He won Zimmerman, he hauls it in. Jared Zimmerman, he was covered nicely, but able to get that right arm out, hauls it in inside Wilkes territory, about the 33-yard line. So from 133 to the other, a nice connection between Lyons and Zimmerman.
Yeah, it was the junior Justin Blake in coverage there for the Colonels, and he did everything he could. He was draped over the receiver in front of him, blocking his vision. I don't know how Zimmerman was able to track that down while coming down to the turf and let it drop in.
So for Lions, continuing to have a nice day. Now 6 out of 8. That last pass. Lions swings it out, a little tall, but handled by Klein. He's got a block from DeBeebe. Couldn't quite turn the corner successfully. And gets brought down around the 30-yard line was the initial spot, but they're going to move it up inside the 25 to about the 24. And now they'll move it back to the 26. So there's about 3 different spots on that play. But it'll be the 26-yard line, and we'll see if Lyco runs another play. Don't have to before the end of the first. And it looks like they're going to opt to go to the second quarter. The Warriors playing well. They have a 7-point lead as we've played 1 quarter between the Warriors and the Colonels of Wilkes University here on Flow Sports. Start of the second quarter. Ian Catherine joined by Justin Hawkins. Lyco leading 7-0 over Wilkes. Starting the second quarter. And for Lyco, it'll be 2nd down and 3. Ball on the Wilkes 26-yard line.
2nd down and 3.
There's a little bit of wind Lyco will be going into now, going from right to left across the field. Don't know how much of an effect that's going to have, but something Lions is going to have to think about now.
Lions has a little bit of time, goes towards DeBeebe at the 5. He hauls it in. Dawson DeBeebe, his first catch of the afternoon here on Senior Day, gets the Warriors inside the 5 to the 3, and it'll be 1st down and goal for the Warriors.
I think Lions is okay with the wind. I mean, that was pinpoint right where you needed it, able for DeBeebe to go up the ladder to get it, but not too high that he's going to leave himself exposed. Great play call there, and now no real surprise if we see Terrence Oliver getting the ball this close to the goal line.
Oliver wants to get back into the end zone. He has 25 career rushing touchdowns. Climbing that list here at Lyco as well. Van Horn in motion. Lions going to roll right. Fires to Van Horn. Touchdown to Lycoming. Michael Van Horn, the running back / fullback. And he has a touchdown reception on Senior Day. The senior out of Father Judge.
I was just getting ready to say, with the defense that Wilkes was in on that one, they're leaving the back corners of the end zone wide open with a stack on that far sideline. And you know when Lions broke the huddle and saw it, he's going, all right, I'm getting somebody in that back corner. The question is going to be, who do I want to throw it to when I get over there?
A nice job there by Van Horn. And those mitts up there hauling it in as Granito on for the extra point. Warriors with a 2-touchdown lead here in the early stages of the second quarter. As Granito kind of caught it a little fat, but able to drive it home. Lyco have scored touchdowns on the first play of each quarter to open this ball game. They lead at 14-0 over the Wilkes University Colonels here on Flow Sports. 14-19 to play here. Lyco leading 14-0 over the Wilkes University Colonels. As Granito getting ready to kick it away. Too deep for the Colonels. As Granito kicks one high and over end into the wind. It's going to be fielded at the 14-yard line. Turn across the 30-yard line and a heavy hit. Aiden Bartlett laying the one at the 35-yard line as he ends the return by Daniel Apiga.
And that's why you put your defensive guys on your kickoff team right there. Making a statement. So we were talking during the break, though, and as far as I'm concerned, this is really the first time this season we've seen Lyco dominating in all three facets of the game. Aiden Bartlett putting an exclamation point on special teams right there for us. Even the games where they were in control, it was always, okay, the offense is doing great, defense, Defense is doing great, offense, Hey, special teams not doing much. Lyco's just having their way all over the field with Wilkes today.
Cooper King in the shotgun. Man in motion, they go with a sweep. And Joff Catella, the lead block. A lot of room to the left side as the ball carrier finally taken out of bounds. As that was Sean McCullough, a grad student out of Upper Darby, PA. Picks up a first down and more off the sweep.
Yeah, I think a hold was missed on that one. I mean, Khalil Johnson, the name we've been talking about, that was his hole to fill. He couldn't get there because he was being held at about midfield. No flag, though, but nobody for Lyco could get to fill that spot with Johnson being held.
So it'll be first down and 10 after a solid pickup on the 43-yard line. King's been in an empty set in the shotgun. Now Piga going to come out and join him, and there's a sidecar left. Now is in motion. King going to go on a quarterback draw and picks up about 8 yards before getting tackled by Matt Trollinger.
Cooper King, the ball carrier.
So Cooper King, a pickup of about 6 as they spot it inside the 40 at about the 37-yard line.
Part of that, I don't think that was necessarily a designed run. That was just the quarterback keeping himself, but that was a case of Lyco sometimes doing too well of a job up front. They over-penetrated into the backfield, which created that opening for the quarterback draw.
Talking about containment and losing containment. I think that's kind of falls in there. You dominate a little too much.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Ben Cantella, sidecar right of Cooper King. Pressure coming from the near side as Johnson, as King goes down the center of the field. A little too long. Trying to hook up with Juju Fears.
Juju Fears, the intended receiver, incomplete.
Mario Samorian covers there for Lyco. He came really close to drawing a flag for pass interference there. Definitely was making contact, but clearly not enough to affect the receiver's route, which is something with the pass interference call that fans forget about. You can make contact, you just can't interfere with his ability to run the route.
So picks up third down and 4. Cooper King, 5 touchdowns to 5 interceptions this season. Longest completion is 49 yards, so they don't go downfield too often. But taking a shot there. See what they elect to do here on third down and 4. Pressure coming again from the Warriors. Pass across the middle. It's completed inside the 20. Across the 15 and getting tripped up was Shane Reed. Big pickup for a first down and more for the Colonels as Reed brought down around the 12.
Colonel's offensive line on that one did an amazing job picking up all the Lyco pressure, soaking it in. You had 6 guys coming. They picked up every single one, kept the pocket clean. And at that point, there's not much defensively in the secondary Lyco's going to be able to do because they're so spread out from losing the man on the blitz.
Pick up a 25 on that last pitch and catch. As Cooper King in the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to his right, sidecar right. Here comes pressure from the right side. Hand off to Cantella. He's able to bounce it inside the 5. Here, Ben Cantella able to find the end zone. Nobody home on the left side for the Lyco defense. Here for Cantella. He's in the end zone for the 3rd time this season on a 12-yard run.
And again, that offensive line sucking up the pressure once again, and you're seeing the small adjustments they're making on the offensive line from the earlier drives to now. They're not completely engaging. It's tap the guy back, look for the next one. Tap the guy back, look for the next one. Just hold that pocket. Don't worry about getting the blocks and getting the holds because that's where Lyco's finding a way through. Just bounce them away and keep the pocket clean so you can let these plays develop.
Wilkes deploying the swinging gate, if you will. And they swing over to the more traditional extra point alignment. As the extra point is up, and it is good off the foot of Nick Volpone out of Adelco, PA. And with 11:59 to play in the second quarter, it's now a one-score game at 14-7 here on Flow Sports. It's showing kickoff end over end. Fielded about the 10-yard line. Jordan crossed the 20-yard line, tripped up, lost it momentarily, but able to get on the loose football as Lyco will start at about the 27-yard line after the short return.
All right, we're back to a one-score game now. I feel like obviously just stay in your rhythm, keep going here, but we knew this game could end up being decided by who has the ball last. Lyco's got to come away with points on this drive once again.
We've talked about, and you brought it up in our pregame show, about who controls the line of scrimmage, and that last offensive possession for Wilkes, really the first time this afternoon they've shown the ability to do so. So see how the Wilkes defense responds. It's a handoff, goes to Oliver, trying to find blocks, and none to be found. Terrence Oliver brought down after a considerable loss, trying to get to that far side sideline, but the Colonel defense able to feather out, flock, and make the stop.
Yeah, and there really wasn't much option there for Oliver. He saw the pressure coming through untouched on the near side, made the quick cut back to the far side, but nothing doing there. Wilkes making these in-game adjustments again. They're doing a nice job of not trying to penetrate, just spread out and keep containment.
So it was only a loss of 2, where the initial spot it looked like it was going to be about 5 or so on the loss, but it'll be second down and 12. Lions far side sideline. He's got his tight end Brendan Clark, and then he got shoved well out of bounds. That'll draw the flag as Talon Murray, the senior linebacker from Vineland, New Jersey, got to be the guilty party.
Yeah, that's one. If you're Murray, you got to be smart enough. You know he's going out. You can even make contact because the contact was coming as he was going out, but he full-on extended his arms for the shove. If he just ran into him, I don't think we see a flag there. It was the extension of the arms that drew the penalty.
So Clark would have been short of a first down and would have set up third down and manageable, but because of the late hit and the 15-yard mark-off, it'll be an automatic first down for the Warriors. And they spot the football at the 48-yard line of Lycoming.
And we're seeing some more of these Wilkes adjustments on defense back in the secondary. They're giving a more flat look now, which is going to take away some of those short passing options. Look for the BB, who's lined up here on this near side, to try to run something along the sideline, get a little deep spread to defense.
Lions rolls near side. He's got to BB, makes the catch at the Wilkes 45. Little step in the bucket, brought down after a 2-yard pickup. And they're going to spot him at about the 44-yard line. Another first down. Well, not quite a first down. We're going to be short by about 2 yards.
Lyco finding a lot of success there on these short passing routes. Again, part of that, as I said, Wilkes is starting to play a little more flat, but they're still leaving those really short 2-3 yard curls open, surrendering that, trying to control around the middle of the field. But that's where Lyco was striking early, so not really surprised to see that kind of adjustment.
Lions had only 6 incompletions last week against Westcott. He's got 2 today. Hand off to Oliver, trying to bounce it out, but great defense. Cohen Cresswell, one of the leading tacklers in the conference, comes up with a stop against the conference leading running back.
Yeah, and Cresswell, it's something he does a really good job for Wilkes, is he'll come up and he's still reading as he's going. He's not saying there's a hole here, I'm going to fill it. He's looking like, okay, I know Oliver's going to get shifty here and bounce back. where do I need to go? And that gave me the ability to step back, come off the pile, and then get over to Oliver and prevent the gain.
Coming into play, Creswell averaging more than 2 tackles for loss per game this season. Had 3 tackle for loss against Catholic. As Lions far side flat, he's got his man, Ross Iyer. The Muncie native picks up a first down for the Warriors at the 40-yard line as a 5-yard pitch and catch. I really like the ability for Joe Lyons, the quick reads, the quick decision-making, and then his ball today has been on point.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen early in the season, it was a lot of high-pointed throws that were getting too much air on them. Today, everything's just on a rope other than the one ball he threw to start the game that needed to be a high-point pass to get down the field. He's looking like a true starting quarterback out there today.
Pistol look on first down. Lions got an audible. It's like Spencer Ferguson, the lone back in the pistol. Got to hand it off to Ferguson. Off the right side, makes a man miss. And able to get up close to the 25. There is a flag that came in late. I think that's the umpire who threw that flag.
Ryan Opperman with the tackle.
And this one in the area holding. Lyco already walking the way back. And this is something Lyco's been guilty of all year. You start getting something going, and then you commit these penalties to just kill all the momentum.
Or a siren going off there in the background. There is a women's soccer game currently going on to our left.
It's like 1-1, Susquehanna and Lyco tied. I would assume halftime.
Looks like it just went up to halftime. Lyco on the women's soccer side having a phenomenal season.
Nice about Flow Sports. You're watching on a browser? Bring up 2 windows. You watch some soccer and watch some football at the same time.
Hand off, they go back to Ferguson. A little sidestep. Gets across midfield. And is going to get brought down another 46-yard line. A pickup of 4 yards. And nice job here by the defense for Wilkes. They've really done a nice job containing the Lyco run game. I mean, outside of what we thought was a 62-yard touchdown run from Terrence Oliver, there hasn't really been a whole lot of room to operate.
So looking at the Wilkes defensive formation here, a lot of room here on this near side, and not much help going to be over the top as they're showing pressure.
Second down and 17. Lions going to keep it and run, has a little bit of room, and he got hit hard at the 40-yard line. Picks up a handful and is fixing his cleat. For a second, was wondering if he was all right there, but looked like the left cleat had come dislodged. It'll be third down and about 9, ball at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, you can see for the Wilkes secondary on what was obviously a passing down, giving a lot of attention that time on the far side to Carson Klein. It left the BB open, but because of the way the Wilkes pressure came in, even if Lyons was able to recognize it, he had no way to get the ball back across his body to this near side.
Trips to the near side, including Dawson to BB and Carson Klein. No wide receivers, top of the formation right. Oliver going to shift to the right side in the shotgun. Lyons looking to throw. He wants to go to Clark on the sideline. Some contact around the 20, but it looked like the feet just got tangled up. And some incidental contact. Pass was a little high as well. So the flag stays in the pocket. It'll be fourth down and 9. And the Warriors got to send out Michael Sips in the punting unit.
And that's really the first time today we saw Lyons not really working through the progressions like he has been. He had Klein open on this side, coming open to the point the BB even saw it was waving and pointing like, you need to get the ball over here. We got a man wide open downfield. Just never had time to pick it up.
So the return man for Wilkes on his own 10-yard line. As Sips punts it away. Flag flies on the far side. Punt fielded on a fair catch at the 10-yard line.
Flag on the play.
Turman barely had to move. Sips just put it right on him. But we'll check the flag on the far side of the field.
It's kind of an odd spot as it's actually laying right now behind the line of scrimmage on that far side.
Looking at the personnel changeover, it looks like Lyco's defense going to come on out. So it doesn't appear to be an instance where Lyco will rerun the play. It's a procedure penalty against the Colonels. So it'll be first down and 10 for Wilkes. 7:08 to play in the second quarter. The Colonels coming off of a touchdown drive See what they can put together here as we're halfway through the second quarter.
First and 10 for Wilks.
First and 10, ball at the 10-yard line. Well, 15, excuse me. So it was a penalty against Lyco, excuse me, because that was a fair catch at the 10-yard line. King in the shotgun, takes the snap. Got to keep it near side. Dumps it off into the flat. He's got his man, Cantella, up across the 20, the 25, and then a brutal collision at the 29-yard line. Daniel Atsu, mainly, for Khalil Johnson, he's got to check out. Johnson took the full brunt of that hit from Daniel Atsu.
Yeah, you love, if you're the defense coordinator, seeing those big hits, but you want them on the opposing team, not on your own linebacker.
Pick up a 15 on that first play up to the Colonel 30-yard line. First down and 10. King has a sidecar to the left, Ben Cantella. Cantella, feature back for the Warriors, for the Colonels, I should say. As King looking to throw, near side, fires, has a man at the 41-yard line. They're making the catch and stepping out of bounds, Juju Fears. But good enough for another first down to pick up a 12, so the Colonels picking it up in chunks.
You're starting to see a little bit of frustration out of the Lyco defense. You've seen a couple of guys the last couple plays. They're not getting the penetration they were getting early, which is allowing Wilkes to let plays develop and find these openings and start picking apart the Lyco defense.
Yeah, Lyco, that first 15 minutes, it was basically all Warriors. But here in the second quarter, I know the Warriors have a touchdown here in the second quarter, but the Colonels have been in the driver's seat most of this session. Two wide receivers each side of the set. Justin Moore in motion. Cooper King looking to throw, has time across the middle. Tried to go to Justin Moore, left it short, and it's incomplete.
Another adjustment Wilkes is making we haven't seen Lyco make yet. These officials are letting you get away with a little bit of holds today. Wilkes is using that to their advantage. Lyco really has not yet. And, hey, if the refs are going to let you get a quick hold and release, take what the refs will give you. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just playing within the boundary of today's rules, if you will. Shotgun set again, wing back left side for the Colonels. 5:40 to go. Clock stops after that incompletion at second down and 10. Lyco showing a little bit of pressure from the far side edge. Here it comes, handoff. Cantella got hit low and then able to work his way forward across the 45 to the 46-yard line. It'll be third down for the Colonels.
You can tell it something that's really good, being 5'9", 210, the little bowling ball running back that you see a lot of NFL teams like to utilize in short yardage. He can absorb those hits, and because his center of mass is so low, he's not going to get tripped up necessarily by it. He can absorb that hit, step off it, and try to keep driving for more yards.
6 carries, 28 yards for Cantella. He's sidecar right. Third down and 7. It'll be about a short 7. Cooper King got to go through a couple audibles, shifts Cantella to his left. Crowd getting into it, a slow snap back. Here comes the pressure. King steps out of the sack, rolls near side, tripped up by Trollinger. And that saves a first down as Matt Trollinger fired up, as is this Lyco sideline.
I mean, he had to use every inch of his body to be able to trip that up, and Trollinger doing a great job reading that the pressure broke it down. The quarterback going to take off, releasing his man in coverage, coming up and making that stop.
You talked about the rushing effort by Cooper King against Moravian, kind of trying to turn into a little bit of a dual threat. I mean, that is a great open field tackle by Trollinger, because if King gets past Trollinger, he's off for a first down plus a lot.
Yeah, we're probably looking at right now a play for Wilkes, 1st and 10 from about the 30 instead of this punt.
Punt affected by the pressure, got to be fielded by Bartlett. Had some traffic, didn't go to the fair catch, and is brought down almost immediately. Fortunate to hold on to that football. He had about 3 Colonels around him as he made that catch helmet high.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Lyco did not have any kind of blocking scheme set up in front of him. I'm really surprised. Bartlett usually one that'll throw the fair catch early and then track the ball. To see him just let that one come in and hope he can make something happen with it.
So it'll be first down and 10 for the Warriors. They lead at 14-7, 4:03 to play. So kind of thinking this is a drive that you want to utilize as much of that 4 minutes that's left. Obviously get points going into the half. But
more key for the points, too. Wilkes will receive the second half kickoff as well.
Lions in the shotgun. Oliver to his right. Lions looking to throw. Clean pocket. Fires. He's got DeBeebe at the 30. Cross the 40. DeBeebe off to the races the 50. Dawson DeBeebe brought down shoulder high around the 30-yard line. Big pickup by DeBeebe. Gives the first down point. The senior on senior day, a big reception.
And great job there. Lyco's offensive line giving just the amount of time they needed. DeBeebe again. You saw him as he's coming across start to shallow out, realizing he's going to find an opening if he shallows out that crossing route. He did exactly what he needed to do. Lions had just enough time to recognize it and deliver the ball right where it needed to be.
Over 50 yards on that last completion. Lions hands it off to Oliver. Oliver swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
That middle is just not there today for the running game for Lyco. Lyco keeps going back to it. Surprised to not see more of those outside runs, but that's also on the flip side where Lyco usually uses the option play to get into the outside on a run, and we haven't seen success out of that in a couple weeks.
You know, the other thing that you don't normally see from Lyco are pitch plays or toss plays to get to the outside. So maybe have to go into that section of the playbook. But, the Colonel's defensive front did a nice job containing the middle. Lions pressured from behind. He's sacked and the ball's out. Loose football, a scrum for it. It's still loose at the 40-yard line. Joe Lyons slow, getting to a seated position after getting sacked from behind by Cohen Cresswell.
Yeah, Cresswell coming through unblocked from the near side, blind side on that one with the rollout. I mean, there was really nothing that was going to be able to be done on that one for Lions. He didn't even have a hint he was under pressure when that one was coming.
The Warriors fortunate after all is said and done to come away with that football. They still have possession with 2:18 to play. Lions jogging over to the sideline as there's a timeout on the field. But for Cohen Cresswell, now 6.5 sacks, came into play second in the Landmark Conference in sacks. And that last time out against Moravia, he had a 2-sack performance. But, again, it's the 2:24 to play. I think this time out for Lyco, kind of talking a little bit about, I guess, just kind of getting back into the groove here. Things starting to go a little bit awry in the second quarter.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Joe Lyons right now. Not really in the huddle, shaking out his arms, getting himself cleaned up. And again, that's the risk you run with these design plays where it's going to be a quarterback rollout from the start. All the protection was already out in front of Lyons. He had nothing coming from behind him, but a very great job here at Lyco. Take the time out, catch your breath, give Lyons a chance to remind himself where he's at after taking that hit. And now we're looking at 3rd and 20 from their own 40. I mean, you got to go to the air, and Wilks immediately dropping back into a deep coverage here. So they're going to give away the open routes, but Lyco's got to look downfield here.
That was great athleticism there by Cresswell. Lions pressure. They set up the screen. It goes to Oliver, and just not much room. That pressure got upfield way too quickly. Oliver does get some positive yardage. They're going to spot him at the 38. And it'll be 4th down and about 18. And for the Warriors, with 2:04, they're going to take this one to the 2-minute timeout and discuss their options, whether they're going to punt it away and give Wilkes a little under 2 minutes to go, or try to keep the offense on the field here in this too long to kick the field goal, too short to punt. So we'll keep it right here. I'll let you take the headset off and put the coaching headset on. Hey, what the way this quarter has been progressing, taking that into account, what are you doing if you're Mike Clark?
I mean, as much as you want the points right now, after you go to the playbook and you come up with what everyone was expecting, a screen pass to Oliver. That's what Lyco does in 3rd and long situations. And obviously Wilkes knew that too. They looked at the film. They're ready for it. 4th and 18 now. The momentum behind Wilkes. I'm punting this one away. As much as I don't want to and I want to go for the points, you're going to have to punt it here because Wilkes is just penetrating this line too much. You're not going to be able to let something develop. And at this point, they're going to give you the underneath routes. That's not enough. You have to go deep. At that point, when Lyco goes deep, it's always fly routes. So they're going to be sitting the sidelines on you. Unfortunately, you've coached yourself into a box now. This has to be a punt. And you got to hope you can call from corner and pin them inside the 10.
And it sounds like you were in that huddle because there's Sips from the punting unit. Low snap fielded by Sips. And a high floating punt. Going to be caught on a fair catch at about the 16-yard line. So for Wilkes, they're down a touchdown. They've got 1:54 to go, and I think you're right on. They've got the momentum in this football game right now. But we'll see what the Lyco defense can do here. Obviously, the goal get to the half with the lead.
Yeah, and for Lyco right now, the defense, and this is going to highlight one of the weaker spots for defense. We know they have talent in the secondary, but this is secondary that does not like to press at the line. And that's going to open up these middle routes. Wilkes with 2 timeouts remaining, 1:54 on the clock. Clock's going to stop when the chains move. Look for them to attack over the middle on those 8, 10-yard crossing routes on this drive.
Quintella, sidecar right for Cooper King. King on the afternoon, 8 out of 13 passing. Pressured, he's going to look to run. Gets across the 20, makes a man miss, and finally run down from behind. I think it was Michael Sips. And Sips reaching back towards the back of his left leg in that hamstring area as he came from his defensive tackle position from behind the play to make the stop. As King brought down the 30-yard line, the training staff making their way across the field to take a look at Michael Sips. 1:47 to play here in the second quarter. We'll step aside here on Flow Sports. Well, a good sight. Michael Sips jogging off the field to the near side sideline. They were taking a look at the left knee of Sips. So hopefully it was one of those things where it was more of a scare than anything else.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Colonels.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Colonels. I'd be surprised if Sips plays any more here in this half. With 1:45 to go, get him checked out. And if he's good to go, have him fresh, ready for the second half.
I will say, he wants to go back in. The training staff's trying to push him back towards the tent, and he does not want to go.
The trips to the right side. King takes the snap, has some time, fires to the near side flat. It's caught. Big hit by Johnson, but a good effort on the run by Fears. But again, with the 36-yard line where Fears is brought down and Sips is coming right back in. There's a timeout on the field. It'll be second down for the Colonels with 1:17 to play.
Now, I will say, Sips is critical to this defense. I mean, he's not the one always getting through and getting the pressure, but you see 2 or 3 offensive linemen having the key on Sips every play. Without him there, you saw Wilkes was able to easily seal the pocket because they didn't have to overprotect one guy that time, letting somebody else get open and come through.
You know, the way you describe the training staff's actions on the sideline, I mean, it just adds to the dramatics of it. But a part of me thinks maybe they were just doing a stability test. Can you push against me and have, hey, but...
Well, no, it definitely wasn't a stability test. 'Cause I unfortunately had to go through quite a few stability tests with my knees during my athletic career in baseball. You don't grab somebody by the shoulder and yank them back to check the stability. That's a, no, you come back here. You're not going back onto the field yet. But clearly, all is well as he's back on the field.
Assuming his defensive tackle position. Chat with Christian Mitchell-Brown. Brown looking to bring pressure right up the middle from his linebacker position. Second down and 4, 1:17 to play.
Lyco with the pressure that's shown here is going to leave the middle of the field open.
Delayed blitz, a throw down the middle of the field, attempted, nearly caught, circus style. Sims, the receiver, almost hauled that in around midfield. Instead it falls incomplete, but Atsu as well as Mitchell-Brown both showing pressure from their linebacker positions. Now Mitchell-Brown was more of a delayed blitz, but still effective.
And this is the thing you're going to see here the rest of this drive. Lyco's going to surrender the middle of the field. That's fine because we can tackle you there. It won't be a big gain, and more importantly, the clock's going to keep running if we tackle you over the middle. It's just keeping out of the end zone.
Trips left. One timeout left for Wilks. King looking to his left. Now dumps it off to Cantella, his running back, and a big stop. Christian Mitchell-Brown able to get the quick stop. It's got to be a loss of about a yard on the play. It'll also be fourth down. And a timeout taken by Lycoming with 1:05 to play here in the second quarter.
Now, I'll be honest, not how I thought that drive would go. I thought Wilkes would be looking for some deeper shots, try to spread Lyco's defense out to make it easier when you get down the field. To see the short plays there, you left Lyco with plenty of time. And this punt, I mean, Wilkes is decent punting, but Lyco realistically will get this ball back somewhere around probably the 25 or 30-yard line with a minute to go, and Lyco has proven they can take deep shots here today and be effective with them, with both Carson Klein and with Beebe.
You know, this went from a Lyco standpoint of using a boxing analogy, survive to the bell type situation, to potentially able to go with a pretty big haymaker at the end of the round if you want. But we'll see how this return goes. But that was a really, really great job there by Christian Mitchell-Brown and this Lyco defense kind of drawing up the blitzes, getting the pressure, and not allowing Cooper King the opportunity maybe to let anything develop downfield. As Bartlett back around his own 25-yard line. And trouble with the snap. And the punter going to try to throw it away. It's going to go incomplete. And I don't think you're going to have ineligible men downfield on a forward pass. Surprised I don't see a flag out there.
Yeah, the officials are coming together to talk about this one. I mean, there's a lot of he did get it across the line of scrimmage, so we can take that part out of it. So what I was saying earlier about Lyco has the weapon. Now they have 57 seconds, and they're going to be somewhere inside the 35 to start this drive. We'll see when the officials get done discussing. I mean, there was clearly nobody in the area of the pass. There were definitely 10 guys downfield because they weren't expecting that. So I can't really put the fault on the linemen for going downfield. They expected the ball to be kicked by now. And there is the flag.
There's the flag right there. Peter Zarafanis, the punter. Yeah, well, actually, they call it intentional grounding. So that's from the spot of the throw. And then obviously the loss of down. So it'll be a turnover on downs.
Honestly, nobody was in the area, but the pass was, you know what? He was not technically outside the pocket when he threw it, though, either.
Kind of ran back inside the tackle box pocket, if you will.
It's a little hard to figure out where that was at when the entire line was about 30 yards downfield by the time he threw that. But yeah, now I think about it, he was technically inside the pocket when he threw that. And honestly, I think that's the better result than illegal receiver downfield for Lyco. Because this should give him the ball right at about the 20-yard line.
That's it. If the flag is the spot of the penalty, because that's a spot foul from where the quarterback, or the thrower, I should say, released the football, and that may be part of the discussion right now. But again, part of that penalty is the loss of down. It was fourth down, so it should be a turnover on downs from the spot of the foul, if I'm interpreting it right.
All right, well, now they're marching the ball out to the 35.
I think Coach Clark looking for that explanation as well. I mean, it will be Lyco football, starting with great field position. You know, you think about, okay, where do you got to get to field goal range-wise? The 23-yard line, I guess, would be the line. That would be the 40-yarder for Vasco Granito. But again, still a long conversation between the officials and head coach Mike Clark right now.
And not a heated conversation. I think Clarkie really just looking for an explanation of like, okay, this is not something that happens every day. Can you walk me through what just happened here so I know where we're at and what's going on?
So what they're saying, they're picking up the flag as they're saying the ball did go past the line of scrimmage.
Right. And that's it. Maybe if the punter did not go back into the pocket, the ball did get across the line. That would negate the intentional grounding. But then we get back to, well, there's ineligible receivers downfield if he's attempting a pass now.
Yeah, again, as we already mentioned, in defense of the linemen, the ineligible receivers, yeah, they're getting down for punt coverage. They're expecting that to be punted away. But right now, it looks like it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Warriors at the Wilkes 35 with 57 seconds to play in the half.
I mean, either way, wherever it shakes out, Lyco, no matter what, is going to have amazing field position to start this drive with just under a minute to go.
So Joe Lyons brings the offense out. Spencer Ferguson, sidecar right. Lyons looking to throw. He's got time. He's got Clark inside the 30-yard line, quickly out of bounds as the Warriors attack the sidelines. The Warriors with 2 timeouts as Brennan Clark gets to the 29-yard line, pickup of about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Warriors.
Joe Lyons again with Ferguson. 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. DeBebe, wide receiver near side. McGrory in motion left to right. Set up a screen. They dump it off underneath, but it read well as Ferguson gets brought down for a loss back to the 34-yard line. A loss of 5. The Warriors going to have to take a timeout.
And this is the case again. Lycoming relies too much on these screen plays, and they've had success with it in previous weeks. But this week, Wilkes is getting to the ball quick. They're covering across the field well. You're not going to find that success. You're going to have to start looking down the field.
Vasco Granito warming up. Not surprised. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But just going off of today, his last extra point was this direction. It looked like he kind of caught it fat. So you're kind of wondering about his contact point. The wind has been iffy. He'd be kicking into the wind. Right now it is kind of blowing into the face of Granito, but for off and on, it's been intermittent, if you will, the wind. So, again, you're wondering, like that 40-yard long, you got to get to the 23-yard line. Realistically, do you got to get inside the 20 to attempt a field goal with, at the end of this drive? And then at that point, if you're inside the 20, do you try to take a shot towards the end zone? So, again, a couple options here for Coach Clark, but a lot of that's going to depend on what they do here on 3rd and 9 with the ball on the 34-yard line.
I just want to go back to the penalty on the punt again. Just check the NCAA rulebook. In the NCAA rules, there is no penalty for an eligible receiver downfield on a punt. Just by default, you cannot get that call.
Lyons has time in the pocket. Now it surrenders. He flips it forward towards Ferguson. It's off the mark as Lyons took a healthy hit. Had some time in that pocket, and all of a sudden, as the clock expired on him, had the whereabouts to get it safely out towards Ferguson. Just couldn't connect. It'll be 4th down and 9, 40 seconds left.
I mean, it already looks like the offense is going to stay out there. This is definitely the right call for Lycoming. After the defensive and special team stand you just made, even if you turn it over on downs here, you're just expecting your defense to step up and make the stop, go, see if you can tap the yards. But they got to stay away from the screen pass this time. Look for a crossing route from the BB here on the near side and a deeper cross from the far side where the receivers are stacked.
Carson Klein is a timeout got to be taken. Carson Klein, who had a huge first quarter. He's got 5 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown, including a 65-yard score on the first play of the game. But he's on the far side to BB. He's got 89 yards receiving on 3 catches, including a 57-yard connection. He was going to be on the near side. So, I mean, the weapons are definitely there. Wilkes, got to give credit. They've been able to make some adjustments here and have minimized the big plays that Lyco has had. But, again, it's one of those things where you got to, if they get that underneath route. I mean, we saw what DeBebe, his 57-yard completion or reception was a crossing route that he was able to shoot the seam and got some blocks downfield. So it is capable. They are capable of going underneath the line to gain to pick it up. But you got to know Wilkes. They know where that first down is.
Yeah, and this is one, again, I'd like to see the same formation here out of the Warriors, which it looks like we're probably going to see. Use the BB on the near side as a lone receiver, run a crossing route 8-10 yards down the field, get Klein on a deeper crossing route down the field, and then use your third receiver to come across the middle and try to pick one of the two open coming across.
4th down and 9. Shotgun set. Terrence Oliver, sidecar left. 40 seconds left here in the second quarter. Lyco leading 14-7. Lions looking to go down the field. Fires off to Oliver. He's got to get the first down. Oliver dives forward, brought down to the 20. Pick up a 14 when they need a 9. Now Lyco going to go to the hurry-up. Lions under center. He's just got to down it. Clock stops with 31 seconds. So, as we kind of talked about, Wilkes going to give up the underneath. But Oliver left wide open. Nobody really within about 7 yards of him. So it was an easy pickup once he made the catch.
No, and that was set up again by the crossing routes I was saying Lyco needed to go to. That drew the secondary and the safeties that was sitting in nickel back down the field. Nobody could commit back up to Oliver then. And, hey, that's what you need to keep the chains moving.
Trips to the near side. Lions looking to go to the air again. Across the middle of the field, he's got Zimmerman inside the 15. Whipped down about the 13. Going to be short of a first down. Clock going to continue to roll under 20 seconds. Lions in the shotgun. He's got him to get the personnel right. Game clock under 15. Oliver now position. Game clock at 12. Lions towards the end zone. It's going to be incomplete. Trying to go to Carson Klein. Weren't quite on the same page. Not a lot on the same page there for the Warriors. There was 7 seconds left in the half. Vasco Granito going to come out and try the field goal.
Yeah, it was a little too slow getting to the line there. If they would have gotten up to the line and ran a play, they might have had another shot if they picked it up. But you got to go field goal here, 4th and 2. You can't risk coming away with no points knowing Wilkes is getting the ball back.
29-yard field goal for Granito. He's 3 out of 4. In that 20 to 29-yard range. Into the wind a little bit, far side hash. Zimmerman got a hold, and a timeout taken by Wilkes. It's their final timeout of the first half. So they want the freshman to think about it a little bit. Granito out of Dover, Delaware, and Polytech. Overall this season, 4 out of 6 odd field goals.
This, honestly, for his Lyco career, this is probably the most pressure he's had on one of his kicks. This kick is the difference between going to the half knowing you're not losing the lead coming out at halftime or going to half knowing we just gave Wilkes all the momentum with a missed kick and we're giving them the ball back after the half.
So for Granito, I would say it's well within the range. Wilkes sideline. They're making the most noise in the stadium at the moment. I think they feel exactly what you just spoke about. Zimmerman takes the snap, puts it down. Granito lays into it, and it is good. Vasco Granito drives it home from 29 yards out, and Lyco takes a 10-point lead with 2 seconds left in the second quarter.
That's exactly what Lyco needed. We talked about it. I think got a couple more drives than we anticipated talking about it there after the 2-minute timeout. But get a 2-score lead back. Take your 2-score lead in the half. Now it doesn't matter really how you come out in the second half. You know at the very least you're going to maintain your lead after Wilkes touches the ball first. And that also takes a little pressure off your defense now coming out at halftime where they know they've been having issues here down the stretch in the first half. There's adjustments to be made. Now you have time to implement those adjustments. It's not walk out immediately backs against the roll.
Now, a lot of the fans making their way towards the concession areas for halftime. But in the back of my mind, Lyco has given up a kickoff return for a touchdown. Wilkes has had some decent kick returns in this ball game.
This is an easy lose.
Back of my mind,
yeah.
Are you squibbing it?
I'm not squibbing. I'm kicking directly at the first up man. Even if he falls on it, no time comes off the clock, you have 45 yards to go in 2 seconds. You just put everyone on the goal line then if Wilkes is going to take a shot. You just look at that guy in white right in front of you. That's your target on this kickoff.
2 seconds left. And we'll see what Granito does. There. 2 deep for Wilkes. And just a line drive right down the middle of the field, fielded about the 28-yard line. Return up to the 40-yard line, and that'll be the end of the half. So Lycoming College, kind of a roller coaster in that first half. They dominated the first 15. Wilks punched back in the second 15. But at the break, it's Lycoming College leading Wilkes University 17-7. We're back in a little bit to break down the first half here on Flow Sports. And we'll go back inside David Persons Field at Coach Girardi Stadium. Ian Catherine joined by Justin Hawkins as we're at the half. Lycoming College leading Wilkes University by a score of 17-7. And, I think the story of that first half is we have two running football teams, and they both have over 100 passing yards. And that's kind of been the dominant play is the passing game. Yeah,
I mean, you look at it, both teams combined right now on the ground at 98 yards on 25 carries. That's not, you're here for the pregame. That's not what we told you to expect. Not even remotely close. I think we'll see the rushing game take more effect as both teams have to go to the passing game. But you look at Wilkes, 186 total yards of offense, 115 of that coming through the air. Lyco sitting at an even 300, 272 yards coming through the air as Terrence Oliver he's been getting his carries. He's been given the ball 10 times today, only for a net of 33 yards.
And the one thing that you and I were talking about off the air was the evolution of the Joe Lions as well as the Lyco offense in its own right. But for Joe Lions, this will probably be, I expect him to complete 2 more passes in this game. It'll be the third time this year that he'll complete 20 more passes in a game. And the other 2 were against Rowan and the other one against WestCon last time out. But, again, his evolution as a starting quarterback this season is really starting to, I'm not going to say it's going to hit its pinnacle here, but, I mean, I guess you kind of want to. You want to keep, extending that bar every game out. As you're getting better. But this has really kind of been the best football that we've seen from Joe Lions, not only from a mental standpoint, but from a physical standpoint.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at it from the mental side, we saw glimpses of what he could be early on this year, where you saw him making great adjustments. You saw him making great leads. You saw him recognizing the defense is sitting in a cover one. I'm going to get an open receiver, but not yet having that ability to put what he's seeing in the practice. And we'd see him overthrow guys by a couple yards, try to make the adjustment. Now he's underthrowing guys by a couple yards. These last few weeks, and I think you can go back to the Moravian game, is where the genesis of it started. You saw him finally figuring out his body at the Division III level, figuring out, if I take this much off the ball, this is what I need to do to hit these guys. And you saw it on the long completion today to Carson. He made the perfect touch pass that he needed to make, dropped it right in the breadbasket, and it was off to the races on that pass because he's making those adjustments that we were looking for at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and the one thing that also kind of stands out to me is when you prepare for Lycoming College football, whether you're a coach or you're a broadcaster, Terrence Oliver is kind of at the forefront. You're looking at all his accolades, you're looking at his physical abilities on the field, and whether you're trying to find a way to exploit that against an opposing defense or as a defense to try to find a way to limit Terrence Oliver. Wilkes has been able to do that today. They've not allowed the cutback lanes. They're making the stop on first contact. They're doing an excellent job. But the ability for Lyco to go to the passing game and utilize the weapons that they have there in Carson Klein, Dawson DeBeebe, Jared Zimmerman, Brandon Clark. I mean, we're rifling off good, capable pass catchers and have 272 yards in one half of football. And it not being a second half is, again, showing some evolution in this offense for the Warriors.
Yeah, and I mean, I think don't get me wrong, we'll see a little more Oliver here in the second half. On the other side, we'll see a little more Ben Controllo in the second half because, frankly, the passing lanes have been really open for Lyco in the first half. Wilkes started to make adjustments, but I think we'll see a big swing here in the second to keeping the secondary backed up. That's going to start opening up those lanes. But the other thing it's going to do is if Oliver starts to get going, Wilkes is going to have to default back to we got to contain Oliver. This game is going to get out of hand. And then it's going to flip back again to Joe Lions and the passing offense of, all right, let's start picking apart the openings we're getting and keep progressing that way.
So, again, they were really, really impressed with what we saw in that first half from the Warriors. We didn't expect, once the first quarter, the way that went, it was 7-0. All the momentum, all the way this one was trending was all Lyco. We didn't expect that to continue all 4 quarters. And Wilkes came back very impressively. They answered back in the second half. But, again, we've seen some instances for the Warriors where they've had really good first half. I think the Rowan game is a big example of that. And then the second half, there was a little bit of a letdown. So I'm really curious to see not only the first defensive possession, but the first offensive possession for Lyco here in the second half.
Yeah, in a way, it's a good thing for Lyco that Wilkes won the opening toss and elected to defer to the second half. Because we know the defense is, as always, the bread and butter of this Lyco team. They set the tone, and then the offense can feed off that. Now you get the chance to send your defense back out there. They made a couple big plays at the end of the first half to keep Wilkes off the scoreboard, and even during the special teams and setting up the opportunity for Lyco to get that late field goal to take a 2-score lead in the half. Now they can go out there, they can set the tone here again, and look for them to come out physical, big hits here early. The big thing to keep an eye on will be, especially up the middle, with Michael Sips. How's he feeling after now going back in the locker room and sitting for 20 minutes? How's that knee doing? We know he returned to the game pretty quickly, so it's nothing serious. But that's going to stiffen up, and he's got to be that tone setter, as he's been the one that's been taking a lot of the pressure from Wilkes, which has been letting other guys from the linebacking core find their way into the backfield early to make those stops.
Yeah, it's not like it's August 7th and it's 75 degrees out. I mean, or October, I should say. We have that uncharacteristic.
Yeah, you could say October 7th. But, that works too.
But, yeah, again, cooler weather. But Lyco getting ready to kick it away to start the second half. But, again, we'll talk about putting together a second half, I think, for Lyco. Just kind of break it down into smaller segments. Win a possession, whether it's offense or defense, and then hopefully when the final horn signals, it's the Warriors on top. But Vasco Granito to kick it away left to right, and he lays into one end over end, angles it to the far side. It's going to bounce out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. That'll draw the penalty.
This goes back to something we saw earlier in the season. This has been an issue on Lyco kickoffs. I get trying to angle it to a side and pin a returner to one side of the field, but you got to keep aware of the spin you're putting on the ball is going to carry it out that way as well.
So, again, are we looking at foreshadowing the opening kickoff of a very crucial drive, if you will, of a very crucial quarter, going out of bounds and giving Wilkes good starting field position at their own 35. So see how the Lyco defense responds. Wilkes down at 2 scores at the break as Cooper King brings the offense out. Ben Cantella, sidecar left, man in motion. They're going to hand it off. Now play action, swing pass caught. And a nice diving effort by Justin Moore, the 5'8" senior wide receiver out of Eastern Regional. Got to move the sticks across the 45 to the 47 to pick up a 12 on the first play.
And that's kind of the same type of plays we've seen Lyco's defense struggle with this season, are those quick-hitting timing routes if they don't have the time to get in the backfield and create those disruptions.
So first down and 10. First catch of the afternoon for Justin Moore, his 15th of the season. They hand it off to Cantella. Yeah, the Warrior defense was ready for it on the near side. Minimal gain, maybe about half a yard. It'll be second down and 9 for Wilkes.
Lyco making some substitutions here. That was one Lyco was setting up very quickly for a pass defense again. And with the delayed handoff, Wilkes, much like Lyco, taking way too long on waiting for the handoff, waiting to see what develops. Lyco was just sitting at home, not showing anything for what the correct option on the read would be.
King all alone in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers, including a wing back to the right side. King looking to run. Not much there. There's a flag that flies in. Sips it on the stop at the 45-yard line. Right now it's a loss of 2 as Cooper King just nowhere to scramble. But we'll check the flag. It's in the area of holding against the Colonels.
Yeah, there were about 3 different holding calls they could pick from on this one if they really wanted to. But Sips did a great job. He got held twice on the same play, able to fight through both of them and then able to make the stop.
So I think right now waiting on the decision from the Lyco sideline on whether to take the sack or to take the 10-yard penalty.
I think if I'm Lyco, I'm declining this one.
And there it is. Declined penalty. So the 3rd time you've been in on the sideline on this for Lyco this afternoon.
But no, that's the right decision here because now it brings up a 3rd and long. And we've seen Wilkes able to pick apart Lyco's defense on those short crossing routes. If you give them second long, they can hit two of those quick hitters and pick up the first down. Now they got to get it in one chunk.
Well, good to see Sims pick up that sack. We were wondering about his knee. First sack of the year for Michael Sims. They're down at 12. Onsu going to drop back in coverage before the snap. Three-man rush. King fires far side flat. It's completed. Makes a man miss at the 50. It's going to be a first down for Wilks. As the receiver Justin Moore made the catch, made a man miss. Gets across the Lyco 40-yard line. They're going to spot him actually at the 40-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down.
I was checking before I saw the official didn't have the hat on. Usually that signal song looks like he just lost his hat and trying to catch back up to that play, though.
So the Colonels on the opening drive here of the second half. They get the ball inside Lyco territory to the 40. Drive started at the Wilkes 35-yard line. Trips to the bottom of the formation. Man in motion, left to right. King looking to throw, pressured, has to step up. Hit as he throws, goes towards the end zone. It is caught in the back of the end zone. Was he in bounds? Yes. Juju Fears able to beat Bartlett in the back of the end zone. Made a phenomenal catch. A 40-yard strike. The third touchdown reception of the year for Fears. Yeah, maybe we'll see our second challenge of the day.
As I'm watching on the replay right now with you as Bartlett actually tipping that one into the receiver's hands from his safety position, but it looked like on replay he was in the end zone for the touchdown.
Now the crowd, you can hear the crowd yelling to review it, but I'm right there with you. Seeing it live and then seeing the replay, I think he was well in bounds with possession of that football. As the extra point is up, the extra point is good. And Wilkes, they come out swinging here in the third quarter. Take the opening drive of the half, and they put 7 points on the board to 17-14 in favor of the Warriors. We return with the kickoff on Flow Sports. Kickoff returned. Jordan, far side. It gets across the 25. And now finally brought down at the 28-yard line on the return by the Warriors. Shall be 1st and 10 after the return by Brady Jordan. But now I made the comment. I was interested to see the first Warrior drive defensively. Gave up 7 points. Now it's time for the Warrior offense. Now I think they kind of have to respond on this drive.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge getting that field goal before the half, and this is the exact situation I was talking about. This allows the Lyco offense to come out and like, all right, we're still in the lead. We're still in control, even though the defense gave up that touchdown. Let's do something with it. And Lyco has scored the first time they've touched the ball in each quarter so far.
Two tight ends in motion. Van Horn and Clark. Go right to left. They're going to hand it off to Oliver, trying to follow those. He's got a little bit of room to the left side. He's got the sideline. And out of bounds. Terrence Oliver close to a first down. Talked about getting the running game more involved on the first play for the Warriors. Now the penalty. Got to bring back that run.
Second time today, Oliver's had a nice gain getting to the outside, and the Warriors hand it right back. That's how it was good to see. Again, it's still slow on the handoff. Lyco needs to find a way to speed up the handoff, but that's exactly what they need to do. Get the ball in Oliver's hands, get him bounced immediately to the outside, then let him find a lane from there.
I think it was Van Horn who was the guilty party on the hold. As he came off the sideline, he was pleading his case to one of his coaches. Lions to throw, far side. He's got Carson Klein. Klein's sixth catch of the afternoon. Got back to the original line of scrimmage, about the 30-yard line. So it'll be second down and about 10. Carson Klein, season high 7 catches against Montclair State. Just passed his single game receiving high. That was at 102. Did that against Montclair State as well.
The BB is going to have an open lane if there's a seam route here on the inside. Not going to be much help over the top.
Handoff goes to Oliver. And again, just stacked up, nothing doing. And again, just not changing anything up on the run game or the Warriors. I know you and I, we've talked about different ways to attack the edge, but again, just these slow developing handoffs. And again, honestly, that just looked like it was just a straight up handoff. It didn't look like there was any type of option included in that play call.
Yeah, we talked about earlier where, okay, you got to develop your chemistry when you give it a little time. It's given a little time. At this point, it's on Lions now to find a way to speed this up. You got to correct the issue.
Third down and 9, Lions in a passing situation. Steps up, dumps it. He's got Clark across the 40 for a first down.
And that's the type of plays where Joe Lyons looks like a Division I quarterback, not a Division III quarterback, making those quick reads.
Boy, there's some friendly fire in the secondary for Wilks. As number 1, it's Ryan Opperman is the one slow to get up, but as he landed on top of one of his teammates who actually couldn't get up until they were able to get Opperman to roll over. And they're taking a look at the right leg of Opperman, a sophomore defensive back out of Lewisburg. So he's being attended to, but Brendan Clark, senior tight end, knew where it's one of those things, knowing where the first down marker is, finding some space and making yourself available to your scrambling quarterback. And Lyons did a nice job eyes downfield and delivered a very easily catchable ball to get that first down.
Yeah, that's something Lyons excels at over a lot of Division III quarterbacks, is that ability. He tucks and runs, but he still keeps his eyes up the field. You saw him start to protect the football in case he got hit as he was going through the line. As soon as he broke through where the coverage was, he immediately came back out and gave himself, okay, I have the option of throwing still, I have the option of running. He doesn't just immediately commit to one or the other like you see sometimes from D3 quarterbacks.
And again, I think that shows the signs of growth that you and I have been talking about throughout the day for Joe Lyons. Again, remember, Joe, he didn't start the first 2 games of the season. He comes into play 4th in passing yards in the entire conference, and he didn't play the first 2 weeks. So he's had a decent season as they try the flea flicker. A lot of room. It's DeBeebe one-on-one down the middle of the field. Flag flies. The Wilkes defensive coaches to our left, irate, as they felt that Brandon Merrill, the senior defensive back, had good positioning, but did kind of impede on the route of DeBeebe.
He impeded on the route as DeBeebe tried getting his hands up. You saw that left arm come back down and start coming up. I mean, that... You can say it's ticky-tack if you want, but by rule, that is pass interference. He interfered with the BB's ability to get his arms up and make a play on that ball.
So the umpire comes. So with the penalty, again, not in college, it's not at the spot. So it's going to be a first down and 10 for Lyco. It's inside Wilkes territory at the 43-yard line. Second time this season at home we've seen the flea flicker from Lyco. First went to for a touchdown to DeBeebe. So a handoff goes to Oliver. He's got a little bit of room. Gets a surge after the second hit. And he's going to be close to a first down. Oliver had 33 yards here the first half. After that last gain, he's going to be up to about 49 on 13 carries. And not the big numbers that we're accustomed to for Terrence Oliver, but again, Wilkes, as we've mentioned, have had a strong game plan to defend the run.
Right, and I mean, it's succeeding. You're still going to get Oliver getting his opportunities and getting those pickups. He's doing what he can with them. But more importantly, Oliver's threat alone keeping these passing lanes open for the day that Lyons is having.
Pistol look. Play action. Lyons spins left. They're going to fire to the far sideline. He's got Clark at the 10. Stiff arm and out of bounds. Brendan Clark inside the 10 to about the 7. Strong pickup. And that passing game is just on point right now for the Warriors on this drive.
And not to take anything away from Clark, who ran the perfect route on that, and you saw him make the adjustment to get a little deeper. But Klein and DeBeebe on that one doing a great job, both recognizing they weren't going to be the target. and finding each other in the end zone, forcing the entire secondary to condense down into one spot, which left tons of open room for Clark coming late across the middle.
Clark had a touchdown in the win against Westcott. It was his first touchdown since 2023 against these Colonels. He's in motion with Van Horn right to left. Shotgun set. Handoff. Oliver up the middle. Bounces and gets brought down inside the 5. Boy, I thought he was going to continue to the near side and maybe had a little bit of a lane, but cut back in and right into a defender's arms. It'll be second down and goal. Ball looks to be right about the 4-yard line.
Wilkes in the run defense still doing a great job just moving side to side and waiting for Oliver to make that commitment. That's where you see a lot of his big gains when he makes that cutback, is the defense committing too early to the way he's going. Wilkes is letting him make that cut and then swarming to the ball.
Another handoff. Oliver dives forward. He's going to be marked down inside the 1. Right there was a quick handoff. It looked like Oliver was just letting the blocks develop, and then he just launched forward. But the Colonel's able to put the wall up right at the line, at the goal line. So it'll be third down and goal, ball inside the 1. Do you go to the brotherly shove? Van Horn's coming in at quarterback, takes the snap, goes forward. We wait for the signal. They go to what we like to refer to as the meathead package. Lyco says touchdown. It is. Van Horn gets it across. And the Warriors able to answer on their first offensive possession with a touchdown.
And, I mean, there was no question on that one what Lyco's game plan was. You saw Oliver come off the field. You saw Lions line up a receiver. Hey, we can just beat you here for this 1 yard. We're just going to run at you, try and stop us.
Fourth rushing touchdown of the year for the senior Michael Van Horn out of Philadelphia, PA. Cannon fired.
And the Wilkes head coach actually standing at the 20-yard line out on the field right now.
So Vasco Granito offer the extra point. Low snap and handled by Zimmerman. The kick is up and it is good. So both teams here in the second half have had a possession. Both teams have found pay dirt. But the Warriors back out by 10, 24-14 here in the third quarter on Flow Sports. .7:55 to play here in the third quarter. Lyco leading 24-14. Wilkes getting ready to receive in second half. Both teams extending some blows as this kickoff fielded around the 7-yard line, returned up the far side seam. The hit extends the run, and finally coming down at the 40-yard line, the return man and Daniel Piga. But again, that was the one thing I was talking about there at the end of the first half. Piga's has some explosive returns, and he's a block away, a slip tackle away from breaking one. And again, right there, nearly did it.
Yeah, and this is a big risk. We've seen Lyco falling back to, I'm going to try to tackle you high and just muscle you around. He's one of those guys, and there's a bunch of them on this Wilkes roster you can't go high on. They're just going to run through you. Saw an example over there, and almost bit Lyco in a big way.
So it's familiar formation for Wilkes as they start the drive. Trips to the near side. Cooper King. Handoff near side. And a heavy run finished around the 44-yard line. Chibugo Jagizwe Wosu on the carry. Goes by Chewy. We were told by the coaching staff before the game today.
Yeah, big thank you for that, because he hasn't had much time in the game today, but Chewy's going to be the way to go if he starts getting his workload up. Atsu on that one for Lyco's defense. Great job chasing that one down from the backside. He had to go probably 25 yards to make that stop for a 5-yard pickup.
Second down and 5. Crowd getting into it. They're going to flip the formation. Trips down to the right. Design run. King near side. Got hit hard by Trollinger, and he's going to be short. Well, he looked like he was short of a first down, but they're going to move the sticks.
Yeah, Lyco fans not happy with that spot. It was a spot. It would have been closer to a first down anyway. Either way, hey, Lyco, time to step up as you're at midfield.
So clock winding. 6:38 to play. Trips to the right side. Catella, sidecar right to Cooper King. King now 20 yards on the ground. Going to kick it out of the belly of Catella. Rolls right, fires right. He's got a man wide open at the 30, inside the 25. And brought down just shy of the 20. Justin Moore with a big reception. And that gets deep into Lyco territory.
Moore got behind Khalil Johnson on that one. Johnson bit on that action. He's seen that run play develop multiple times here today. It's a good job of Wilkes using the playbook, using the looks they gave to go to something new. Johnson got bit on that. It was about half step too late getting back to his receiver.
Under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Ball at the 22-yard line. Trips to the near side. Justin Moore in the slot. King pointing out the pressure on the far side. Catella as King looking to the left, pressure to throw is caught across the middle. Ball came out. They're going to say incomplete pass. Daniel Atsu was right there as the receiver caught the football, and then it was able to dislodge it from Sean McCullough. So it's just an incomplete pass, but Daniel Atsu been a difference maker all season for this defense, showing why.
Yeah, and that was a dangerous formation there for coming on that one. No help over the top. It's a good thing, man-to-man coverage. The coverage held together. Atsu doing a great job breaking that one up. I think that's the right call and complete.
5:30 to go. Third quarter. Clock stops the incompletion. Second down and 10. Catella to the left. Handoff goes to Catella. Able to make the first man miss, but the second man to the party there to clean it up. Pickup of about 1.5 yards. Looks like Atsu was in the mix. Daniel Atsu, just an impressive individual when it comes to playing defense here at Lyco.
Yeah, Khalil Johnson was coming through. He's the one missing the backfield. Anthony Messina doing all he could just to chip him just enough to give time for that play to develop.
Atsu now with 7 tackles, leading the way. For the Lyco defense, Atsu showing pressure from his linebacker position. Here he comes. King looking to throw. He's belted. Had no time. Coming in for the big sack for the Lycoming College Warriors, Christian Mitchell Brown.
Mitchell Brown, we've said his name a couple times. He delayed it by maybe a second or two, delayed his blitz. Gave time for the line to think, oh, he's not coming. We'll just start chipping like we have been to protect the pocket. It let him come straight through, untouched. Nothing Wilkes could do once he came exploding through the line.
Second sack of the afternoon for the Lyco defense. 4th down and 17. Ball at the 30-yard line. The Colonels keep the offense on the field. Stadium vibrating. King looking to pass, has some time, fires, looking for the end zone. It's intercepted. Picked off in the end zone by Cam Tolbert, the sophomore out of Sweetland, Maryland. Gets the interception, the second takeaway for the Warrior defense.
Yeah, what a job by Tolbert, too. He was tracking that one the whole way, knew it was going to the back corner of the end zone, as you're seeing here on the replay, and almost turned into the receiver with the overthrown ball. And part of that goes back to the Lyco defensive front, the pressure they've had Cooper King under today. King thought he was going to have to get it up over pressure. Didn't really need to put a little too much on it.
Really the only pressure, Trinity Hill Caleb was driving the offensive lineman back into King. Not sure if that had any disruption on that pass, but Tolbert finishing it off, getting the interception for the Lyco secondary. 3:55 to play. Lions on the field. Handoff goes to Oliver. Cuts it back. Able to make one-man miss. Oliver to 30. Jersey nearly pulled off as he drags a defender across the 35 and brought down to 37 to pick up a 17 by Terrence Oliver.
Senior Michael Cornick, that's all he could do to keep himself wrapped on that jersey of Oliver. And if he didn't, I think we'd see Oliver off to the races right now.
3:30 and counting. Lycoming with a 10-point lead. They've got momentum. I think baseball season's still going on. The pitch count. I think you're going to see that pitch count for Terrence Oliver go up. They're going to see if he can eat up some innings here. Trips to the left. Clark, the tight end, a part of that. Sidecar left at Oliver. Lions looking to throw near side. Little double move. He's got DeBebe. It's incomplete. I think they're going to get defensive holding. That double move by DeBebe absolutely shook the secondary of Wilks.
And DeBebe, that's something we see a lot out of him. But today, that's the first time we've seen him utilize that double move. Wilks clearly not ready for it.
But here's the kicker. That offensive line for Lyco giving Lions the time to let that route develop. I mean, he had a clean pocket even after he delivered that pass. So the infraction going against Wilkes. It'll move the football into Colonel's territory at the 48.
Part of this getting set up right now, too, by Oliver. Starting to utilize the outside like we were looking for. It's forcing that Wilkes defensive line to keep themselves spread. They can't just pound the middle of the Lyco offensive line anymore.
Hands off Oliver. Goes right into the welcoming arms of the defense. Picks up a yard. So for Oliver, 17 carries, 73 yards.
Dodgen Stevens in on the tackle for that one for Wilkes from the defensive tackle position. Actually spun his way back around the pile, recognizing that Oliver's about to bounce it out and sealed the edge.
It's kind of interesting. Oliver has not had a back-to-back 100-yard performances since Montclair State and Dickinson had over 100 yards last week. So maybe the averages of the way things have gone is why he's had a slow day. Just throwing that out there. But I think the defense for Wilkes, as Lions may have spun the wrong way, swings the air side to Van Horde, and he gets ushered out of bounds around the 41-yard line after a pickup of 6.
Oliver did a great job there, recognizing that it looked like he was about to go out and pass coverage, recognized the pressure coming from the other side, just abandoned his route and made sure he stayed in pass blocking to protect Lions.
3rd down and 3. Warriors more than happy to utilize the game clock. Close it on 2 minutes to go in the third. 24-14, Warriors with the lead. Joe Lions 21 out of 27 this afternoon for 315 yards. Lions swings it far side. It's intercepted. The fly comes in. Colin McCrory
all day long.
Colin McCrory got shoved from behind before the ball got there and it allowed the interception to happen.
Yeah, first of all, you can't tackle a receiver to get the interception. That's just not how the game works. And obviously, Wilkes, you can hear from the sideline, the boos raining down from the far sideline, but you tackle the receiver. That's the only reason you had the interception there.
So just want to update, 22 out of 28 for Joe Lions, 321 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. But the passing yards, a new career high, if you will, for Joe Lyons.
Also puts him now number 14 on the all-time single-game passing records list for Lycoming, surpassing Chase Whiteman back in 2015 against Misericordia.
Well, it was over 1,400 career passing yards. Has now 9 passing touchdowns in his career, and a false start coming up against Lyco. And you were hitting at this earlier in the ball game about, one, when you not giving back free yards. Essentially, I know you were talking more on the defensive side, but essentially it works here on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you can't be doing. Now, you just took some of the options you had with Wilkes is reeling, trying to stay back in deeper pass coverage to open up lanes for Oliver. Well, now you put yourself in a passing situation that is playing into the defenses that Wilkes is putting on the field.
Lions hands it off to Oliver. Oliver, he's got a lane up the middle of the field, cuts back inside. Now outside the near side hash of the 15-yard line. And gets brought down around the 14. Pick up a 17 by Terrence Oliver there at the end. They were just trying to rip the football out of his hands. Oliver showing the strength, one, to hold on to the football, but the fact that he had 3 defenders on him and he was able to stay up was impressive as well.
And that penalty now in a way works in Lyco's favor, forcing Wilkes back into a deeper defense, which opened up that first move for Oliver. And as he's shown time and time again this year, if you give him that first move, he's going to create his own second and third move and get down the field.
So Terrence Oliver closing in on fourth all-time in rushing yards. You're going to hand it off to him. A little bit of room, fires to the right side, inside the 10. Picks up 4 more yards.
He's really having to fight for every single yard when he's staying in between the tackles here today. But we're starting to see it wear on this Wilkes defense, too, because we know Oliver, while he is that elusive jump, cut back, running back, he's not afraid to lower the shoulder and lay the wood himself either when the situation calls for it.
So with that last run, he should have 94 yards today. That would pass Tim Deasy, who finished his career with 2,868 yards back in 2002. And Oliver still has 2 more games, and then another year. Lions back corner of the end zone trying to find Clark. Clark thought he was interfered with. That ball a little too tall in the back corner of the end zone. Goes incomplete.
Yeah, good no call on that one. But really at this point for Lyco on that play, good play call, good route tree. Wilkes is sat at home in a tight zone look. There wasn't going to be much coming open across the field.
Terrence Oliver, 19 carries, 95 yards. Joe Lyons, 22 out of 28, 321 yards. Carson Klein, leading receiver, 6 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. 3rd down and 5. They swing it out to Oliver, cuts inside the 5, and wrangled down at about the 3. Picks up 6 yards, and it'll be good enough for a first down for the Warriors. They'll be down in distance, and that'll also be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So Lyco, they were able to withstand the storm at the beginning of this quarter. Wilkes going down, scoring a touchdown. The Warriors responded with one of their own. They get the interception, and now a chance to add another touchdown to their lead when we come back to start the 4th quarter on Flow Sports. Yeah, welcome back. And a little bit of a development. Terrence Oliver getting assisted to the sideline by the training staff. And again, keep an eye on that for Oliver, who's at 95 yards for the day. But again, that's a big part of that offense for these Lycoming College Warriors, who have a first down and goal ball to 3. Lions hands off to Ferguson, and there was a ton of trouble with the exchange. Almost looked like Lions wanted to pull it back, and that threw off the timing. Ferguson gets brought down for a loss of 2.
And Lyco's coming out in these short yardage goal line situations when you're running the spread. You got to make a quick decision. Are we going pass or are we going run? You can't keep hemming and hawing. I'm not going to hand it off. Maybe I'll pull it back myself. Maybe I'll let the back take it. Just go. Especially with that, you had Wilkes' defense spread out. That was a key point for somebody like a DeBeebe or like a Klein. A quick crossing route. Hit him right at the goal line. Easy points.
Michael Van Horn out on the field. He's got 2 touchdowns today, but Lyco not quite able to get the personnel where they want it. So they're going to take a timeout with 14:20 to play here in the fourth quarter. That'll be the first timeout taken by the Warriors in the second half. They've got 2 left. For Wilkes, they still have their full allotment. But, again, for Lyco, you still feel a little bit of uncertainty right now. Just over the inability, because you're basically coming out of a timeout when you're changing quarters. So the fact that they weren't really able to get the play call out that they wanted it to look like and execute it, but then on the next play didn't really have the personnel out on the field, because usually you kind of know what you want to do a couple plays in advance, and it just didn't look like that communication was there.
No, and I'll go back to the game we both were at last night with Loyalsock and Montoya at the high school level. We saw that with Loyalsock. They had trouble right at the start of the game with play execution, getting play calls in, and we saw how long it took, almost a full quarter for Loyalsock to start getting into a rhythm. That's now the same risk that Lycoming's facing here today.
Brennan Clark, graduate of Central Loyalsock Township High School. In motion, handoff, Lions, goes to Ferguson, bounces back inside, touchdown Warriors. A beautiful block by Oscar Ortega. The senior opened up the cutback lane for Ferguson, and he's in to extend the Warrior lead. 14-16 to play in the ball game, and for Spencer Ferguson, finds the end zone for the second time this season. His only touchdown, you got to go back to the season opener against TCNJ. Had a rushing touchdown in that ball game. Vasco Granito on for the point after try. Drives it up and drives it in. 31-14. Lyco with the lead over Wilkes with 14-16 to play. And just a nice job there for the Warriors. They get the interception on the defensive side. The offense comes out, a nice prolonged drive. Finishes with points on the board. And, right now, it's kind of vibing here if you're in the Warrior faithful.
No, and with the injury right now, Terrence Oliver, I've been keeping an eye on him on the sideline. A couple of times he's tried standing up and went straight back down to the bench. It looks like he will likely be out the remainder of this game. Getting that touchdown now and taking a multi-score lead over Wilkes is critical, because now Lyco has been relying on the pass, but now you don't have that threat of Oliver and his big ability to run behind you either. Lyco has good running backs still available to him, but nobody with that explosive speed that Oliver has, and now Wilkes is going to be able to sit back on defense more. The question is now the Lyco defense, can you force another stop and turn it back over that offense with the opportunity to chew clock?
I mean, I do like the offense for the Warriors, obviously able to throw the football, but they want to go on the ground, and Spencer Ferguson showing right there the ability to get some short yardage. Michael Van Horn, a battering ram in his own right. So, again, if you're looking for 3-4 yards a carry, try to utilize some play clock, get some first downs, I think they have the personnel outside of Terrence Oliver to do that. As Granito, high, short, end-over-end kick, going to be fielded at the 15-yard line. Return quickly across the 25 to 30. Angle to the far side, 35, the 40-yard line. Fly comes flying in as the return man, Ramel Terry, gets brought down out of bounds around the 42-yard line.
That's one. If you're Wilkes, you're upset now. This is going to be a block in the back, no doubt, with where this was called. And it's well behind the ball carrier. Actually, it's a hold, not a block in the back. But it's well behind the play in an area where you have no business committing a penalty.
So again, the Colonels trailing 31-14. Maybe a little frustrations there. Maybe just trying to make something happen a little too much. Committing that penalty.
And you can understand the frustrations on the Wilkes sideline right now as well, because this is a game you had 2 weeks to prepare for it. You're playing a Lyco team. On paper, you're pretty balanced, but the momentum is completely behind Wilkes. Lyco's coming off one big win, but they've had a couple bad weeks. And now you just come in here and Lyco's just been dominating from the majority of the game.
King looking to throw on first down, far side sideline. Pass is caught, but a quick tackle by Trollinger. Shane Reed on the reception. Sophomore out of Hamilton, New Jersey. Picks up about 5 yards. It'll be second down and 5. Trips to the near side. 3 down defensive linemen for the Warriors. Pressure coming from the linebacker position. King, far side, sideline, too tall, and incomplete. Trying to go back to Shane Reed, and he was open. Just that pass too tall.
That's something we've seen on the last couple passes. The clock for Creswell's for King has been getting so sped up that he's thinking, I'm going to get hit, I got to get out. And when he actually has time to sit there and get a nice ball out.
So 3rd down and 5. 13:40 to go in the 4th. Lyco leading by 17. Trips to the near side. Cooper King takes the snap. Rolls near side. Pressured immediately. Fires down. It's nearly intercepted by Cam Tolbert on the sideline. May not have landed inbound even if he did catch it, but does break up the pass. And it's 4th down for the Wilkes Colonels. On their own 33, they're going to have to set out the punting unit.
A name we really haven't mentioned today, but the defending conference defense player of the week, Yashim Soaks, just getting through unblocked and just at an all-out sprint, forcing the pressure there and forcing King to roll in a direction he was not ready to roll. That was his only option. It was either that or take a sack.
Soaks last week, 6 tackles, 2 of them for loss, 2 sacks, a block kick. It's quite the impressive week. Big reason why he was the defensive player of the week in the landmark is Sips. Nearly got his hand on this punt. Short and wobbly. Takes a bounce and checks up inside the 30 at about the 29-yard line. And with 13:25 to go, Lyco with a 31-14 lead. They'll take over 1st down and 10. So kind of a couple different things for Terrence Oliver. But peeking down here on the sideline, it looked like he had more of a lower body injury as he was walking and coming off the field. But right now, using some eye drops right now as well. So Terrence Oliver kind of going through some things on the sideline here, but we'll see how the offense, how they respond without their leading running back.
Again, without Oliver, this is going to let Wilkes spread their defense a little bit more, lean a little bit heavier on their pass protection.
Handoff goes to Ferguson. Got up to about the 30-yard line. They'll give him the 31 to pick up a 2.
And this is the one thing now, as I said, Wilkes is spreading out, looking at the pass protection a little more. That's going to start opening up the middle that wasn't available there to Oliver for Lyco's bruising backs now. So those 1 or 2 yard gains are going to turn into 4 or 5 yard gains if you keep pounding it up the middle.
So I kind of like this. I mean, the clock continues to roll. You're looking, I think if you're looking for more than 3 yards on a carry, it might be a little more than, it might be a little high, but again, you're able to get those short situations on 3rd down as Ferguson able to fall forward, picks up another 2 yards. So it'll be 3rd down. They say 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, and I mean, we're highlighting Oliver is a loss right now, but it's not a big negative to Lycoming.
Right.
You lost your big playability on the ground, but you didn't lose your ground game by not having Oliver out there right now.
I really like the fact that there's so many different targets for Lions, especially in this short yardage. Obviously, I think Brendan Clark's going to be a big option here as he goes in motion. 3rd down at 7, flag flies. Play clock was at 7. It's a procedure penalty against Lyco.
Yeah, I mean, 2 men in motion at the same time at that one going towards the line. Again, these mental mistakes, this is a big issue for Lycoming early in the year. We're seeing them crop back in now here as they're trying to protect the lead.
23 completions for Joe Lyons today to 8 different receivers. That's impressive.
And that's something we were talking about at the beginning of the year, is he would get hyper-fixated on one receiver, whether it was the BB, whether it was Carson Klein. It's great to see him moving around, using those different options around him.
Klein to make that Clark again in motion. Lyons pressured, looking downfield, slings it towards Clark. He's got it for a 1st down. A flag comes in late on the near side sideline. But for the time being, Brendan Clark picks up a big 1st down for the Warriors.
And it looks like the initial signal might be against Lycoming.
So I wonder if it's offensive pass interference.
I will say the defender that was on Clark, and it is offensive pass interference, the defender that was originally on Clark went to the turf. I looked over that way late to see if it was possibly Clark pushing off him that created the separation. But looking at the area where the flag was thrown, I think that's what it may be.
So I was looking at the replay, didn't quite see, but the only Lyco player in the area of where the flag was thrown was Dawson DeBeebe, but watching the replay, didn't look like there was much of a pick play there.
But that's where, in that area, that's where Clark originally came through before he shook his tackler. I think it was just the flag getting out late, and it just happened to be DeBeebe being the one in the area when the flag actually landed, even though the penalty went against Clark.
So long third down. They're going to keep it on the ground, and a big run by Ferguson across the 25 up to the 29. Pick up a 16, and that got Lyco back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, great play there by Ferguson, and he does have the ability to break off the long runs when he has the space to do it, and you can see him break tackles there at the end. Lyco, unfortunately, need a lot more than that on that play to prevent the punt team from coming out.
Ferguson a yard short of his season long of 17 on that last carry. But Sip's going to come out and punt it. They were, kind of questioning that. Would we see Adrian Alina, the freshman, come back out and punt? He was warming up at halftime as a punter. But Sips to punt it away, kind of short-legged it, end over end. Punt fielded by Terry inside the 40-yard line, and not much of a return. And he'll get brought down at the 37-yard line. Ramel Terry on the return.
Now it's starting to fall back a little bit for coming in old habits from the start of the year, putting a lot of pressure on your defense, a lot of time for your defense to be on the field. Luckily, they haven't spent much time out in the field, and one time they've been able to get off and rest. So I think stamina-wise, in a way, the early season prepped them for this, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on the defense. Luckily, they have a multi-score margin to work with here in the fourth.
26 minutes to 20 minutes and 33 seconds. Lyco leading the time of possession battle. 10:40 to play. King pressured, steps up, hit from behind, and he's brought down. Jeremiah Boyer, the first-year player out of Crofton, Maryland, gets the sack, the third of the day for the Warrior defense.
And Boyer had to fight through a hold on that near side before he was able to get in for the sack as well, and Wilks very quickly back to the line.
Trips to the left, trying to get Lyco out of position. Atsu looks like he's got everybody where he wants. Here he comes on a blitz. Atsu hits King as he throws. It's incomplete around midfield, but Daniel Atsu, he was peeking around to make sure that his defense was in the right spot, and right the snap of the ball took off on a blitz. Had nearly got home against King. Did hit him as he threw, and it was a clear reason that pass didn't get out cleanly.
Lewis Shank from his safety position was playing up, showing pressure as well. You can see he was frustrating himself. He didn't get his head around quick enough here to shot an interception himself.
Cooper King out of the shotgun. Here comes the pressure from the Warriors again. He's able to slip the sack. He's got a first down. He's across midfield. So there's that athleticism and the ability to extend the play with the legs by Cooper King. Took him to about the 10-minute mark in the fourth quarter to show it, but he's able to keep this drive alive.
Yeah, you saw great field vision and awareness, too, there, watching for where the rest of his offense was, who's going to be able to pick up some blocks downfield for him once he scrambled out of the pocket.
Takes the snap, looking left. Has time, far side sideline. He's got his man and just steps out of bounds. Justin Moore. Completion for about 5, maybe 6 yards on first down.
And a good play call there by Wilks. Trapped the Lyco defense between a couple receivers each on that side, so nobody could commit to any one and left some of the passing options open.
9:25 and counting. Moore in the slot. Trips to the right side. Ben Cutella goes to the right side. Chance of defense. It's King, dumps it off underneath, completed across the 35. Tackle made around the 30-yard line as it's Shane Reed on the reception for Wilkes.
Louis Shank with the tackle.
Louis Shank getting the tackle. Wilkes, a little bit of a hurry up. Clock winds under 9 minutes to play. Ball on the 30-yard line.
Not surprised to see Wilkes going to the hurry up here as they've got Lyco off balance now. Don't give him time to regroup.
King looking to throw. Not much pressure. Looking towards the end zone. Too far. Trying to find the receiver in the end zone.
Justin Moore, the intended receiver.
Justin Moore, the intended receiver.
I mean, Ryan Pence was almost in a better position to catch that ball. He was overthrown as well, but he looked like he could have been the receiver on that one with the angle he was coming to the ball.
Haven't heard a lot from Ryan Pence today, but he was a landmark conference specialty player of the week.
Yeah, he is. We talked about that block earlier on the field goal. He was the one that scooped and scored on that play.
Second down and 10. Cooper King, a little bluff with a hand clap. No, takes the snap. Runs forward and is going to get brought down from behind, shy of the 20-yard line. And one of the Warriors slow to get up. Making the way to the sideline, number 27, Javon Story. Tackle also made by Christian Mitchell-Brown. It'll be third down and 1.
Looks like Wilks a little confusion trying to get this play in. Kind of odd to see third and short situation. They choose this time to spread the offense.
Takes the snap, hands it off. Cantella's got the first down across the 20. Fights his way up to about the 16-yard line. It'll stop. Should be a first down. Stops as they reset.
First and 10.
7:45 to play. Here in the fourth quarter, 31-14. Lyco at the lead. King steps up. He's got time. Man wide open, far side of the field. Flag comes in from the far side official down by the end zone.
I think this one might be coming against Wilks as offensive pass interference. As Aiden Bartlett in his coverage just kind of got mowed over as he tried coming back to get to that ball. And no, they're actually is going to go against Lycoming.
Daniel Piga was the receiver on the play for Wilkes Conwell going to the turf.
It'll be holding on Lycoming.
So holding coming up against the Warriors. 7.5 minutes to go.
Wilkes, we've seen many times flipping the formation, and it has been catching Lyco out when they flip the formation.
Cooper King, 18 out of 30, 236 yards. Hands it off to Cantella and Daniel Atsu. And a couple Warriors there in the backfield to make the stop. It's a loss of 2 on the play. Looks like Trollinger was in the mix as well as Braden Baum. Well, this Lyco defense, I mean, this Lyco in general putting together a very solid performance to this point. Trying that whole bend but don't break right now. Under 7 minutes to play, second down. Second down and goal, ball at the 10-yard line. King looking to throw, near side, wants the end zone, touchdown. Back corner of the end zone, it was Ramel Terry. Able to get behind a couple Lyco defenders, hauls it in from Cooper King. And Wilkes able to strike for 6 here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Lyco trying to get a little tricky disguise in the defense they were in, and as they tried to rotate the corner and the safety there, nobody was able to get back into the back corner quick enough as they were rotating.
Second touchdown of the afternoon for Cooper King. For Ramel Terry. Second touchdown receiving this season. Extra point is good. With 6:47 to play in the ballgame. Lyco still leads 31-21 over Wilkes University here on Flow Sports. Lycoming College, possibly anticipating maybe an onside. Instead it is kick deep. Bartlett back at the 10-yard line, fields the kick quickly across the 20-yard line, and that's where he gets stopped. So Aiden Bartlett, they'll give him the 21-yard line, 6:42 to play here in the fourth quarter. Lyco bringing the offense back out on the field, and a flag comes in well after the play, and it looks like it's going to go against the Colonels.
Yeah, I mean, Bartlett was making comments before the official got there. When the official got there, he started walking away, and the Wilkes guy, I don't think, realized the official was there and kept going.
So, again, for Wilkes, they get the scoring play, get the momentum going their way, trying to get a good defensive stop, and an unsportsmanlike penalty on the ensuing kickoff. Yeah, Wilkes, I think, looking at the body language of some of the Wilkes players, one trying to say, well, he was talking, but again, it's often the second guy in is the one who gets penalized. And then there's some Wilkes teammates looking at him like, I don't care. You got to be better. So,
yeah, and you have to know, especially on kickoffs, you can get away with a little bit of the language. You know the official's getting there late, but you got to mentally think, the ref's going to be here at some point. I can't go too far with this.
Pistol look again. Terrence Oliver not available to this point. Currently on the offensive bench in front of us. Has had a couple different body parts looked at since exiting. Handoff goes Spencer Ferguson off the right side. He's got a first down, and he's able to move the pile against four defenders up around midfield. Pick up a 13 by Spencer Ferguson on just a grueling, determined run by Ferguson.
Yeah, Ferguson really one of those backs you can't try to tackle high. He'll just keep pushing you along if you tackle him high. You have to go for the legs. Wilkes had 3 or 4 guys on, but they all went for the shoulder pads. Nobody went for the legs.
6:14 and counting. Ball around midfield. First down and 10. 6:08 now. And Lyco going to utilize the play clock. 3 timeouts for Wilkes as they trail by 10. Pistol look, Joe Lyons takes the snap, hands it off near side. Ferguson able to get across midfield, had a little bit of a hole, able to use it for a pickup of 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7.
Yeah, that's exactly what Lyco need. We don't need the big play right now. Just short little pickups, keep getting positive yards, keep moving the chains. More importantly, keep running that clock that's now under 5:35.
Lyco over 450 yards of offense here this afternoon. 327 passing yards, by far the most that they've had in a single game this season. 280. They've done that twice. Was the previous high. As Lyons takes the snap, another handoff. Ferguson up to the 45-yard line. So for Lyco, I mean, this is really what you want. Get 3-4 a clip. Pick up a first down every 3 plays. And then at what point, if you're Wilkes, do you start dipping into those timeouts?
It's a tough spot right now. You're still at 450. You got to leave yourself some time on the offense, but you're going to need the timeouts because Lyco's defense has been playing well along the sidelines. You know, if and when you get the ball back, you're not going to have an easy job getting the ball and getting out of bounds. I think when you see it get down to the 3-minute mark, that's when you've really got to start considering using your timeouts.
4:30 to go. Clock continues to roll. Play clock under 3. And now Lyco, they had trouble getting the personnel on the field. There was a lineman late. And Coach Clark right now not happy with his group. Burning a timeout when they didn't need to, really didn't want to. They've got 1 timeout left now. And really both of their timeouts in the second half were ones that you really didn't want to take. It's personnel issues.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a rare issue we've been having with Lycoming. This is personnel. I mean, they've had issues where they've had to burn timeouts for not quite getting the right formation, but getting guys on and off field is not something the Warriors normally struggle with. It's very odd to see today.
So 31-21. Lyco with the lead. Landmark Conference action. I mean, this is looking at the Landmark standings. Or just the records. Lyco trying to go to 3-1. I mean, forget the overall record at this point. A 3-1 mark. And to be honest, with two, I think, winnable games left on the schedule. Direct snap goes to Van Horn, and Van Horn, who's had a big day, gets across the 40-yard line to the 38. It's a first down, and Coach Clark is fired up in a good way on the sideline.
And with the home schedule like it's been a while since we've seen a happy, fired up Coach Clark on the sidelines for the Warriors.
Van Horn has 2 touchdowns today, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. But a big pickup there to get a first down and get a big first down.
Again, Lyco just doing exactly what they needed on the game plan. The only thing they're playing for now is that next orange marker.
Ball to 38. That next orange marker at the 28. And then beyond that, the goal line, the orange pylons. But Joe Lyons, big afternoon through the air for the sophomore, turns and hands it off. Ferguson, he's got some room, and he's up to the 30-yard line before he gets upended. His Warrior offensive line is just moving bodies right now, and this is the most crucial time to do so, as I believe Wilks has taken their first timeout. Comes with 3:25 to play here in the fourth quarter. 31-21. Now I'm going to put this out there. It's been in the back of my mind for about the last 5 minutes, whether I should say something or not. Lyco scores here. There's time left. Does number 40 come into the ballgame?
Sorry, did you say something? I don't know if I want to comment on that one. I mean,
last home game of the season. Obviously, it's been a big story. Tom Sillo hasn't gotten into a game yet. Senior day here, obviously. He's not a senior.
Senior citizen doesn't count, Ian.
Yeah, senior citizen day. That's in 4 years. But no, I mean, I think that would be a great way to cap off possibly a win for the Warriors here. I mean, still got to get there. Still some things, some boxes that need to be checked. But I'm going to put that thought out there. I know this place will go nuts. Clark goes in motion, pressure being shown, handoff. It's going to be Ferguson as they push the pile. And he's going to be just short by the early spot. Far side official, he's short, near side line judge, maybe right at the line to gain. Either way, a timeout got to be taken.
Yeah, we still waiting to see where they're actually going to spot it. They do spot it just inside the 29. So I think Lyco's going to be maybe a half yard short on this.
Brady Jordan getting his number called. He's been on special teams. He's had a couple kickoff returns. Going to come in and possibly be a running back. Brady Jordan, a sophomore out of Jersey Shore, PA. We'll see. It's going to be third down and about half a yard as they reposition the down marker. .3:16 to play. Wilkes with one more timeout.
I think you feel like humming too. Obviously, it's going to be a run call here. I don't think anyone's expecting any play action or anything. It's a straight run up the middle. You only need half to 3/4 of a yard. I think this is 2-down territory here for Lyco. Even if you would wheels come off here and you manage to turn it over on downs, you pin them deep with a 2-score lead. I think we're going to see the offense on the field no matter what here.
Van Horn's going to go under center. Joe Lyons, a wide receiver behind Beebe. Takes the snap, goes forward. He's going to roll across the pile. He's got a first down. Van Horn got to get the first down as the meathead package comes in and delivers the first down yardage. I will give credit to Jamie Spencer. He's the one who coined that. So
that sounds like a Jamie Spencerism if I've ever heard one.
But so I do want to do that citation there. My verbal bibliography, I guess.
So this should be, in theory, if Lyco takes this all the way down to 1 second, they won't have to run another play before the 2-minute timeout after this play.
So Lyons in the pistol look. Takes the snap, turns around, hands it off. Brady Jordan. The flag flies. Jordan lost his helmet at the end of that run. 2:29 and a lot of vocalization coming from across the field.
Coach Clark's out here yelling on the field now as well.
Yeah, things feeling good the way of the Warriors right now, but the same time, it's still a 10-point game with 2:30 to play.
The umpire has brought the ball back behind the Lyco huddle now.
So it is going to be a hold against the Warriors. It'll move the football back to the 37-yard line.
Ball's at the 37 after that holding call.
So yeah, 1st and 20 now. Definitely open up the playbook again. Possibly look pass on this, but I think Lyco will run it, take it down to. Oh, we got more whistles.
The head coach for Wilkes was in the ear of the official on the far sideline. David Beaver, his second season at Wilkes, and he's Stroudsburg alum.
And I think we're resetting it. I think the game clock ran after the offense. They reset it back to 2:29, so the game clock began to run when it should have been a stop clock after the Lyco penalty.
It was interesting. I thought that's what it was, but there's 2 Lyco players that were pointing to the game clock as it was running. I'm almost thinking, why do you want to let them know? I mean, I could see Wilkes say, hey, stop that. But they do catch it and add about 7 seconds. Lions hands it off. Ferguson, like that. Spencer Ferguson gets up to the 35-yard line. And for Wilkes, going to have to take their final timeout. Kind of interesting. Thought maybe just let that go to the 2-minute timeout and then save that final one for afterwards.
Yeah, at this time, I'm changing my mindset a little bit because it's 2nd down and 18 for the Warriors. You get a stop here, it's going to run to the 2-minute timeout. But if you can get a stop and keep Lyco at a long field situation, they may come out in the passing. You get a pass breakup, stop the clock that way, you get an extra stoppage out of it that way. Knowing Mike Clark and the way the Lycoming offense calls the plays, I don't see Lyco necessarily going to there, even in a long yardage situation.
So coming out of the timeout, it'll be 2nd down and 18. 2 minutes, 24 seconds to play. This will more than likely be the final play before the 2-minute timeout.
Barring any more Lyco penalties, since I've already made that comment about 3 plays ago.
Yes. Gotta finish this one out, and that discipline, definitely a big part of it. And Joe Lyons is going to take a knee to take it to the 2-minute timeout. It'll be 3rd down and about 20 as he takes a loss of 2 on the play.
So now I'm going to go with Lyco, I think, on the other side is going to try to punt this one back. So they're actually buying themselves extra yardage to pin them Wilkes deep without letting it go in the end zone. That would be the only reason I can think of taking a knee on 2nd down when you're not running the clock to 0.
So the 2-minute timeout here in the 4th quarter. Lyco leading 31-21. We'll take a quick breather here on Flow Sports. So 3rd down and 21, 2 minutes to go, and looks like the Warriors are going to opt to knee again. They're going to have to obviously punt it away. There's just not as Lions. Oh boy, that was close to a late hit by Wilkes. Now granted, Lions almost baited Wilkes into it. He waited until pressure came before he dropped to the knee. And as he did so, it was right as he was about to get hammered by about 3 different Wilkes defenders. Credit to the Colonels for actually being able to lay up.
Yeah, they laid out and they just bear hugged him and said, you're not going down to the ground. You're not acting on this one to draw a flag. You're staying here. So clearly Lyco giving themselves room here to punt. They do have 10 points to work with here, giving it back, as I think they're going to take a timeout or to delay a game.
I'd say they're just going to take the timeout. There it is. Coach Clark was standing right next to the line judge. So 1:13 to play. 10-point lead over Wilkes. Lyco trying to go to 3-1 in the conference. They go to 3-5 overall for Wilkes. They'd fall to 2-1 in the landmark and 4-3 overall. Still, minute 13 left in a 10-point game. This drive didn't quite finish the way that I thought it was lining up to. But kind of interesting to go to the knee there on second down.
Yeah, I'm still kind of scratching my head. I mean, I get if you know you're going to be punting, get yourself in that situation. But on that drive, Lyco had a couple nice pickups on the ground. They could have gotten themselves easily into a third and manageable situation and tried to ice the game there because they were realistically 1 first down from icing this game anyway. Instead, you put it back on your defense to try to get it done.
So, whatever the conversation Coach Clark was having, it was not really appeased with the result. But Lyco has Michael Sips out to punt it away. Looks like Ramel Terry back at his own 10-yard line for the Colonels. Snap back a little low. Sips able to field, floats one downfield. Fair catch called for and made by Ramel Terry. Now the Warrior defense heading out to try to close this one out. They've got 1:07 to defend and keep 10 points off the board.
I mean, I know Lyco's feeling good right now. Just over a minute to go, you're up by 10. But this is not a time for the defense to let up. One quick strike here from Wilkes, save the opportunity, then an onside kick. This game is not over by any means. Lyco has to play the full 60 minutes.
Coach Clark and the coaching staff making sure everybody's in the sideline box right now. They don't want to give up any penalties. That can be avoided. Cooper King takes the snap. Pressure showed. Fires far side. It's Ramel Terry makes the catch around the 40-yard line. Catch was made against Javon Story, and quickly to the line go the Colonels.
Story did a good job making sure he made that open field tackle. That could have been a lot more.
Now, there was a whistle before the snap. Now, again, there is another game going on to our left, a men's soccer game. But right before the snap and the downing of the football, there was a whistle. So it doesn't seem like anything inadvertent. So this may have come from the
yeah, as they looked over the soccer field where the players were, I think we did hear that from the soccer field.
59 seconds to play, second down and 10. Two wide receivers each side of the formation for King. Takes the snap. Pass near side. It's hauled in and dropped right in midfield. Trying to go to Sims. Josh Sims couldn't haul it in. It's second down.
Trollinger in coverage. Very, very smart veteran move there by Trollinger. Started to be like, I'm going to let you, wait, no, I want you to catch this so I can tackle you down and get the clock running. And completely pulled up. No contact at all when that ball was dropped.
Third down and 10. 54 seconds to play. King pressured. Hit and brought down. Coming in with a sack. Here's Trinity Hill Caleb.
Lyco's got to be smart here and quickly get back. And Wilkes just walking back to the huddle at this point. The receiver is now realizing they're in the hurry up.
Fourth down and 10. 35 seconds remain. Trips to the near side. King going to dump it off. Has his man in the flat, and he's going to be well short of the first down, and that should do it. It'll be a turnover on downs. The Warriors will send the offense out to do the kneel down, and the Warriors are going to improve to 3-1 in the conference.
It's only fitting the senior Matt Trollinger making the final stop of the day for the Warriors on defense as he pushed them out.
I mean, I think you can tell Tom Sillo how to line up in the victory formation.
So I was just taking a look out there, too. I'm like, is he? Nope. But, yeah, as nice a story as that would be, get some of the seniors out there. Senior day, last snap. And it's the senior Dawson DeBeebe is the one deep back.
Knee taken by Lions. And that'll do it. Lycoming College on Senior Day, their final home game of the 2025 season is going to be a 31-21 victory over Wilks. It snaps a 3-game losing streak to the Colonels, and the Warriors go to 3-1 in the conference. The Wilkes University Colonels falling to 2-1 as the Cannon Fires one last time. Good win all the way around. Got a little interesting at times, but the Warriors put together a solid 60 minutes and come away with a win.
Yeah, this is the best wire-to-wire game that we've seen out of Lycoming this year. Even with the big win last week against WestCon, you saw that dip happen. Today, yes, Wilkes got back in the game, but that was Wilkes just playing the way back in the game. Lyco never let up for the full 60 minutes. I mean, the offense, the running game was down, and normally that would be a death sentence for these Warriors. Today, Joe Lyons in the passing offense stepping up, going for a total of 327 yards through the air, almost an unheard of number in the last decade for the Lycoming Warriors, and still the running game coming through when they needed to, eating the clock, eating the yards, moving the chains, and the defense, again, just playing a stellar game against a very tough Wilkes team. I mean, this was a test for Lycoming today against Wilkes, and they passed this test with flying colors.
Well, with what I saw today, I have a feeling with Lyco, their last two games on the road, against Catholic and against Juniata, in my opinion, two winnable games if the Warriors come to play and put out the effort that we saw today. And the thing is, they're getting better. As this season has progressed, they've gotten considerably better in different situations where they needed to make adjustments. So I mean, we may be looking at a 5-1 conference record potentially. Not sure what that would mean at the end of the year, but in terms of maybe a bowl berth or some sort of postseason berth. But again, I'm looking forward. Unfortunately, we won't be able to call those games, but I'm looking forward to seeing where this team ends up here in 2025.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of question marks, a lot to play for here down the road. Like you said, you could look at a playoff berth, you could look at a bowl game. There's a lot. There's obviously questions with Susquehanna. Do they get a bid into the NCAA tournament? Do they not? If that happens, that shakes up the bowl game schedule as well for the conference. And we've been saying it's the last game of the year here for Lycoming. Keep an eye on these next 2 weeks. There's still a chance there might be one more home game here at Dave & Purcell Field for the Lyco Warriors.
Yeah, I definitely will be rooting for that. But we'll do the customary. Do want to thank everybody here at Lyco. Nick Caringi and his crew behind the video efforts. Joe Gustine, obviously, his efforts and his staff are first class. For Jamie Spencer, who sat in as a commentator, and then obviously my broadcast partner, Justin Hawkins. Always a pleasure to work alongside you. I'm Ian Catherine. Thank you all for tuning in here in 2025. Maybe again, we'll postseason game. We'll see how the rest of the regular season it shakes up. But make sure to follow the Terrence Oliver. Hopefully can bounce back from whatever his ailment was here in the second half. He's eyeing some pretty big marks in Lycoming football program history. Hopefully he can attain those before the season comes to an end. So until next time, everybody, I'm Ian Catherine. Keep it real.